Going live! Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekly stream, which has not been weekly, but, things have kind of technically come up in the interim, including health, which is always fun to work around. I am joined, as usual, by my regular co-host, Cybernetic Pink Eye.
It just keeps going and going and going and...
So... I do have plans, obviously, to continue with the Dragon Age playthrough. You may remember last we left off, we had finished with the Urn of Sacred Ashes quest and taken care of a couple of additional little side quests as well, including Shale's side quest, which involved discovering that they were originally a female dwarf that was sacrificed into becoming a golem. Shale says non-binary rights. There you go.
Yes.
And we also killed Flemeth. Hey, hello, and welcome.
Greetings.
Greetings, fellow internet goers.
Yes. How do you do, fellow kids?
So, obviously I have plans. Serious plans. But I want to take a second to talk about this fucking campaign that Griffin and I are both part of, because we can't even talk about all of it, obviously, but since we started this D&D campaign, which is being run by my good friend Gab/Serena Midori, and it's one of those things where it's technically twofold in some ways, because there's a huge fantasy component to it, but it primarily takes place in a modern setting. Basically, it takes place in an anime setting. And the characters are all people that are variously influenced by magic in some way. Like, this is part of the plot, and we still don't really fully know exactly why. Griffin adding to Lore's pilot? Or plot.
Oh.
Okay, this is why I probably should wear glasses, huh? Currently on a bus from Chicago to Fort Wayne. I wanted to say, hey, been a while, and hope you're doing well. Well, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So, some of the characters, like mine and a couple of other people, are modern characters that get possessed by fantasy adventurer hero types. And the others are people who have discovered magic or are influenced by magic in the modern/anime world.
Yes.
So, there's a lot of layers to peel back about this, and there's so much that's going on. Everything is happening so much. And since this campaign has started, especially as various NPCs and plot points have been introduced, and especially as our characters interact and create drama and, pull shit with each other.
Oh, yes.
It has sparked a wave of creativity.
To say the least.
To say the absolute least. So is it isekai? I'm not familiar with that. It is a unique plot with unique character, unique gods, unique figures, and all of that stuff. Now, people who know me on Stan and the Anime D&D is
You're
Daddy
not
Sanders.
even wrong, Tucker.
Okay, Baz, you're literally about to say, those of you who know me on, those of you who know me over on the fucking Discord and everything, know that I am
Head over heels
for an NPC that Gab has introduced. His name is Weldon, and he is perfect. I'm going to...
baby.
No. Anyway, I joked last stream. I did actually joke. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. That should be fine. So okay, drop that so you can see. So here's artwork, for example, of some. All right, yeah. Okay, yes. A couple of the characters. The one on the left is Sam. He is baby, and I know that some of my characters have adopted him. I say some of my characters, pretty much me as well as my character in the fantasy component, because he is fantasy side character NPC.
Yes, and some people have adopted him for entirely different reasons.
Anyway, so the guy on the right is Weldon, and
he is bastard.
He's not bastard. I mean, okay, yes, he is also a bastard. He's kind of a dick sometimes.
And that's why you love him.
Kind of, yeah, actually. Like, go ahead and joke all you like, but, like, okay, so I'm
Well, I'm
trying
not
to...
joking. I'm just stating facts at this point. I'm his voice actor. I can attest.
Oh, yes. But, so I'm looking through to see, like, what kind of artwork do I want to post and spoil and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and to elaborate on what I mean, I've basically been officially cast by Serena Midori, Gab, or DM, as the voice for Mundane here, and I've been having way too much fun in call, to the point where another one of our mutual friends in there, Red as a Tomato, will often, shall we say, deflate as a result.
That's not even really a joke or an exaggeration. You will hear her going, Gabby! Yes. So, these characters on screen, may as well show them off, are from left to right, Ken, Prin, Louis, and Duo. This is one part of our heroes team. The player characters are Ken and Duo. The NPCs are Prin the Pixie and Louis, who is Ken's best friend.
Yes.
And this is from a picture of wholesomeness that sadly has not yet happened in game because there's a lot of issues that these people are sorting out.
Yeah.
But and this one has not yet been colored.
For those of you who have noticed the similarities between Duo and Goku/Gohan, that is entirely intentional. The dude is pretty much the Great Saiyan man.
Literally. So on the other side of it, these are all player characters. So again, from left to right, that is Jess, my character Ophelia, Tycho, and on the end there is Griffin's character Owen.
He is a angry little twink with an easily broken body.
Yep. These arts are actually done by Gab, the DM. Like
she's a very skilled artist.
Very fantastically skilled artist.
There's a fair number of those in our campaign. There's Gab, there's you, there's Jane. Like we got some good artists.
Occasionally,
and like
I was gonna say, occasionally Marcy jumps in with some art.
I was about to say, yeah,
has always been fantastic and always welcome. There's been all sorts of stuff that's been happening, and apparently we're starting to lure other people to do things like writing fan fiction for this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, the most I've contributed is taking some of the art, people have made and turning them into abominations of meme videos.
So, yeah, I'm not going to argue that. So just a quick, brief rundown of all of these characters. The ones that are currently possessed, I don't think my mouse... Oh, my mouse is showing up. Okay, good. Yeah. So Ken, Ophelia, and Tycho are the ones who have been possessed by fantasy characters that lived in an alternate reality. We don't know the full circumstances that have led to all of this. When is the fan fiction reading? We don't have it yet. He hasn't written or posted it.
No.
Anyway, Ken is possessed by the spirit of Vinny, who is a half-elf wizard who is basically your uncle, the cool uncle who will totally slip you the marijuana or alcohol or whatever. He tries to be an entertainer, and he apparently has his own dark past that he has yet to talk about. Ophelia's fantasy counterpart is a half-elf woman, a sorcerer named Peak. And she came from a noble house and was adopted into it. She's also like, she's it's a human noble house, but she's half elf, and so they adopted her in, and they were like, look at how kind we are. We adopted this half elf and gave her a home, and we're giving her our inheritance, etc., etc. And again, we don't know the full circumstances there. I know certain things about obviously the character, but and Tycho's counterpart in the fantasy world is a tabaxi bard named Ham Throats, and his parents were like con artists, and he got tired of it, and he tried to do everything he could to put some distance between them. The best part is that the first part of all of these characters meeting was Vinny attempting to put on a show and not really succeeding, Peak offering, like, jumping in to save the day because her performance stat is through the roof and actually does. And as they're doing an illusion of a cat chasing a mouse, Ham leapt out from under the table he was hiding under to go chase the illusory mouse.
Yeah, to clarify, tabaxi are basically cat furries.
Cat furries? Yes.
I mean.
Anyway. And in the excitement and the amusement, a fourth person in the room stood up and started playing a violin to add musical accompaniment to everything that was going on. So they put on this show. It was fantastic. The audience in the inn were, like, they were raucously applauding. It was this beautiful, wholesome moment, and they all kind of, like, gathered together and, like, hey, I like you. And they agreed to start adventuring together after that. The person who picked up the violin and started playing was Sam, the good boy.
Yes.
Furries in my D&D, it's way more likely than you'd think.
Do we have a picture of the fancy party that we can use?
We do. I do. We.
Yes.
So may as well show the past Nakama as I have it named.
Yeah, I mean, might as well give them a bit more frame for reference.
So, Sam Prin, who was also in the past. Whoa, okay. There's Vinny, Peak, and Ham. And look at them! They're actually wholesome. They're friends. The modern campaign, not so much.
Everything's gone to hell.
Everything is terrible, and no one likes not no one likes each other, but there have been literally conspiring against each other moments. Because I'm looking at, like, for example, Ophelia is, like, she's the Heather Chandler, sort of. She is the rich, popular girl who is top of the class. She's actually vice president, but that's because she's, like, you know, the one doing all of the puppeteering. The Blad one, Sean Anners.
God.
I'll take your word on that. Anyway, so in the motor campaign, so she's the Heather's person. Jess is someone who comes from a troubled household and is thus a very tough person. She's literally the Susie of the campaign. Susie from Deltarune.
Yes.
And
she's also the big gay.
She is the big gay. The other big gay being Owen, actually.
Well, he's the little gay.
He's the little gay.
And he's basically the way I like to think. He's like the unholy fusion of Double D from Ed and Eddie and JD from Heather's the Musical.
That has unfortunate implications.
Yes, it does.
Taiko is an orphaned girl who is 14 years old, but she was advanced placement into this class with all of these other 17 and 18-year-olds. She is fairly smart and cunning, but she is also pure id. And she is also a magical girl because she found a book at one point that allowed her to transform into an alternate costume and decided that that's how she's going to fight crime.
She's Pinkie Pie, essentially.
She kind of is. Duo is the student teacher for the class. So he's actually, like, the rest are all 17, 18. He is 25. And he's basically sort of interning to get his, teaching chops. The thing is that he's also, he's trained under someone, a monk, so he's got monk training. And also he is a nighttime vigilante who dresses up in a Saiyaman costume, Super Sentai outfit, and fights crime.
Calling himself the Green Fist. I wish I were joking.
And Owen himself, like, he unfortunately also comes from an unfortunate background, but he has been supposedly determined to make other people aware of education. Unfortunately, things have not seemed to pan out in that direction.
Yeah, he definitely wants people to have as many opportunities to better themselves as possible. He sees people, like young people in particular, who grow up in privileged households and as a result become bigoted. He sees them as victims of sociopolitical or socioeconomic brainwashing, and the people who reared them as basically empty husks that were once people. And ultimately, he wants to give people the resources and tools necessary to better educate themselves so that they can make better futures for themselves. A big part of Owen's motivation is that there's not much else he can do because he's got a variant of anemia that makes his bones very brittle. It's stunted his growth. It's made him kind of pale. He gets sick easily, breaks his bones easily. He's a fragile dude.
Yeah.
And the irony being that he's got a literal hand cannon in his cane because Owen is an artificer. And he can imbue objects with magical properties. And one of them is his cane. He needs a cane to walk around because he's fairly fragile. But that cane also doubles as a thunder cannon that can shoot thunder magic at opponents.
So, yes, and that has actually had a pretty huge... yeah, it's complicated, but the Thunder Cannon has had a huge part to play, and I will eventually show a comic that depicts that.
Please.
But yeah, so the story begins with them exploring a haunted house, like Louis, this guy over here, goes to Ken and is like, there's a haunted house, let's go explore, and a bunch of other kids, well, mostly the kids on screen, get involved and pulled into actually exploring. As they explore, a portal opens to another world. A tiny green pixie came through, and 3 of the members of the team got possessed by these magical people. And then they've been trying their powers, so to speak. But there is a degree of possession going on because every once in a while, those who have been possessed have dreams, shared dreams of past experiences. And that kind of gives us more insight into what's going on the fantasy side of things, as well as gives them an idea as to what's going on with their powers and who and what they are. I think he can rub the guy with a cane only for him to Kentucky Fried. I still love that was my suggestion, that the cane be his gun.
Yes.
So...
You've had some really good ideas for this campaign.
Well, that's what I do, okay? Was that some kind of trial of courage, students? No, it was literally just Louis was excited because he wants to see ghosts, and...
He's one of those people who binge watches Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
Like, unironically.
He is also a tinkerer, much like Owen, and tends to, like, he's actually made Ken, like, a spear thing, which was actually very sweet.
Yeah.
So, in trying to discover what's going on, they have been encountering more magic users, including at least one of their classmates and other necromancers that are tied to what seems to be a larger conspiracy involving magic.
Yes, which Owen has pretty much been paranoidly researching behind the scenes. He literally has a corkboard in his room.
Oh yes, as does Ken. So, among their various stories, I know that Ken, for example, actually comes from a fairly normal house. Like, middle class, like very firmly middle class. He also has a corkboard because he is also a paranoid little shit. Unfortunately, he is also... Oh, you want to rob me? Alright, would you like your original recipe? Go ahead.
You want to rob me? Alrighty. Would you like to be original recipe or extra crispy?
That would be his Owen voice.
Yes.
But Ken has a unique problem because he is terrified of girls.
He's gynophobic.
Not exactly gynophobic. He is afraid of intimacy, mostly, like emotional and physical, to the point where when playing Spin the Bottle a couple of years back at a party, he actually passed out after being prompted to kiss what he insists is not a crush. So that's a thing that's hanging out over his head and means that, for example, if any of the girls in the party end up, like, touching him, he tends to flinch. So that's that unique little bit of baggage. I think we've talked about most of the baggage. Ophelia's baggage is that she was raised in a rich household with a bunch of assholes. and has kind of absorbed that. She has become the bitch as a result of, you know, what her parents are like. Damn it, Griffin, now everyone on the bus looking cause you made me laugh. Yeah, not a crush. Exactly. He keeps insisting, not a crush!
Oh, yes.
But Ophelia's baggage is also unique because it was revealed like 2 sessions in that she has been harboring a crush on the Green Fist. Not Duo, the Green Fist. And the party discovered that Duo was the Green Fist, especially when he decided to tag along as the Green Fist on one of their missions. He said, oh, it's a friend of mine, I'll send him in and he'll watch over you. And of course, Ophelia was like halfway swooning the entire time. And then the next day, everyone else had already figured out that night, but Ophelia did not. And I'm basically saying it's because she was in denial, like that she would not have believed it unless you punched her in the face with it. Well, the next day, they met up at the library. And
proceeded to punch her in the face with it.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole bunch of shit that happened that day that was actually fucking hilarious. A lot of crushes ended up kind of walking in on that moment.
Yes. One of which you continue to torture Owen with.
Well, so let me run down the order of things. As they're talking, at some point, Owen made a remark to Duo about the Green Fist, or about him, like it was a veiled comment about him being the Green Fist, but at that, Ophelia finally put 2 and 2 together, and, proceeded to lose her fucking mind. Like, okay, I actually have my own artwork for that.
Thank you, I was hoping you would bring it up.
So,
like, one of the things I've taken the most pleasure out of with this campaign is everyone bringing like the doodles and comics and the like Gab has even made animatics.
Yeah, and I'm going to be showing those too.
Please.
Let's see, Ophelia angst. Okay, so let's see this. So she has a moment where she realizes exactly who Duo is. And actually proceeded to slam her face into the table at the library. And was like, actually, like, oh, really, you don't say! After that point. Very clearly upset. Well, she's not the only one with a crush, obviously. There is Ken with Jay, who has not featured a lot yet in the campaign, but she was there that day.
She's one of the popular girls at the school.
Sort of. Well, I don't think she's popular, but she's kind of like mid-tier, but I guess. Anyway, it's hard to say. But Owen is harboring a crush on a young lad by the name of Curtis.
He's a sweet boy, and it's not so much that Owen has legitimate feelings for him, so much as like he thinks he's cute, and he digs that he's willing to learn. He's definitely his type. The problem is that Ophelia will not keep her mitts off him.
Well, yeah. But anyway, so specific to that situation, there were a bunch of encounters with the crushes, which led to this bit of artwork titled When You Can't.
Thank you.
When you can't look at your crush, when you can't talk to your crush, when you can't... Okay, the book on the head, by the way, is because I think it was Tycho put the book on her head, and like she sat up abruptly, and like the book went flying, and man. I think Owen went to go retrieve it, but Curtis was the one that picked it up, and led to an amount of hi.
Yeah.
Yes, we're having a stream of my D&D campaign. I'm gonna talk about it. I need to talk about it.
I have no objections. I would love for at least the first hour of the stream to be this.
I mean, so far we're on track. So that day sparked a lot of paranoia, unfortunately, because one of their classmates, Emma, who was there that day, was outed as being part of the conspiracy of necromancers, and so Jess, being Emma's friend, was basically enlisted to spy on her. And it's a complicated, there's like a whole actual complicated, I'm not going to do an entire blow for blow, I'm just going to highlight the bits that, I can back up just in general.
Yeah.
But complicated story, she does spy on Emma, and it basically comes out, oh no, Jess has feelings for Emma. Whoopsie.
Again, the big gay.
Allow me to show Emma with newly, recently updated artwork, actually.
Yeah.
And she is an interesting, complex character that we don't know yet much about. So, a couple of sessions ago, I'm trying to mentally map out how... So, at this point, for example, it was a couple of sessions that the concept for... Because they also have, like, schoolwork and shit that they're doing, because they are teenagers in high school. 2 to 4 hours of D&D? Fuck yeah. Yes. So a group project was announced, and Ophelia, who normally, teams up with her friends, which are basically the other Heathers. Let me actually bring up a picture of them. This is Diane and Evelyn, and they are, unrelated to my Evelyn, but yes. They are effectively the Heathers trio, and they are, the popular girls, the ones who are very much better than you. And they back her up in basically literally everything she does. Which is actually why when Ophelia initially agreed to join the haunted house expedition, she was like, I think I'll go. And her friends were like, what? They're like, what? Like, they were completely astounded that she was even volunteering for this nonsense.
My diamond!
Oh my god, stop.
Jess, am I wrong?
Jess is the one with the ponytail. She is the one with the complicated house life. Home life. Okay.
Yeah.
What a mess with all of these crushes inside the group. You have no idea.
Yeah, but between crushes and shit home lives and situations, it's really fucked. Like,
yes.
I mean, I'll let you continue on with the story, but I'll also explain at some point what Owen's dealing with on that level.
Oh, we can. So Ophelia normally pairs up with her friends, but she decided that what she's going to do is get Curtis on her team, and opened up by flirting with him. Because she does this. This is a thing that she is known for. I mean, presently, she started off with a charisma score of 19. She currently has 20, thanks to an ability score boost. But so she has a lot of advantage when she rolls for these things. And she was like, I forget exactly what it was that she said, but it was like to the effect of, honestly, I think that it's really important that we take our education going forward very seriously. I want to make sure that my grades are the best that they possibly can be, and seeing as you are one of the greater minds in this class, I would love to collaborate with you. I mean, honestly, I've always wanted to get to know you better. I feel like, while I love my friends, you might be one of the people who might actually get me on my level, if you know what I mean. And rolled, I think it was a 24 on her persuasion. And, let's just say it worked.
Oh, yes. Also, welcome, Alex. We were just talking about the campaign.
Yes. So that worked, and in the process, convinced Curtis to join her group and kicked out Evelyn. But she has plans, you see. So she actually machinated so that Evelyn was going to go over to Ken and Louie, who had, these two guys over here who were best buddies, to be their third party member, their third group member. She says, well, I'm just worried about their ability to pass this project, and quite honestly, I'm a little worried about their ability to socialize. I think you would be a wonderful influence on them. Mind you, this is Ken, who has problems with girls.
Yes. And again, I love how Alex refers to them affectionately as Egbert-kun.
That's just it. I mean, he kind of is, unfortunately. The
yeah,
blue eyes are not...
much more gynophobia.
It's not gynophobia, dude!
I know, but
You're
I
using...
like calling it that.
No, but it's the incorrect word. He doesn't hate women.
Well, it's fear. not
Yes.
necessarily hate.
Gynophobia generally refers to actually, like, hating women. What he's afraid of is not women, it's intimacy.
Ah.
And being a het, naturally, that means that
Yeah.
it's girls that he has problems with,
Oh boy, the hets are at it again.
basically. So Evelyn just comes over and she says, I'm going to be, or it was like the, good news, boys, I'm going to be your third party member. You know, and it was like, what? So
So
they
Let's go, boys.
they start signing up, and now Owen unfortunately was a little bit on the later side getting to class because unfortunately he does have some mobility issues.
Yeah.
He gets in and he sees the sign up list and he sees that Curtis, beautiful boy Curtis, has joined Ophelia's team.
like it's like,
Okay, we're in the middle of what could potentially be a giant magical conspiracy, and you're taking pot shots at my sensitivity. I see how it is.
So if he was ever going to trust Ophelia, that pretty immediately doused that.
I mean,
Curtis is best boy, kind of.
yes,
He
agreed.
he is a sweetheart, but so
He does not deserve any of this.
at this point,
I mean, actually, scratch that. Timothy is best boy.
yes, Timothy, who is Ophelia's younger brother and the only person that she actually trusts completely, they share everything with each other. Unfortunate bit of story there, unfortunately, that about 2 years ago in the timeline, Timothy was actually almost killed. Like, he was stabbed, and in a really brutal way. He was saved, but it has had an impact on his health, and the effect that it had on Ophelia is that she has become very overprotective of her little brother. But
You
she...
take care of Tucker.
Okay. Take care, Tucker. So, backtracking. Yes, so these kids, Owen actually started scheming, trying to form allyship with, interestingly enough, Prin, potentially seeing what he could do to lure her away from Ken, and also with Jess by appealing to, you know, some of their own solidarity. I mean, gay solidarity right there, but...
Yeah, well, solidarity in more than a few ways. Like Jess, Owen also comes from a poor household in a, well, let's just say less than lavish part of the town. He is raised basically by a single mom in a biracial household. His mom Latino, and so like in addition to dealing with like casual racism growing up in a poor part of town, and having his mom working night shifts as a nurse, it gets really tough. They can't afford much. He can't even afford a cell phone, which he makes up for by creating sending stones, which are essentially magic rocks with magic runes that makes them work like walkie-talkies. Yeah, he this has shaped his view of the world and society, and as such, he has big plans.
Just a nice little shot of Owen there.
Yeah, again, he genuinely does want people to have as many opportunities as they can to better themselves, because of what society imposes on people. But he also wants to play his own part to try and, shall we say, equalize things.
Right. So, these characters... Okay, so Ophelia also officially hates Duo now because she's mortified at discovering that her crush was on her teacher all along. There's a lot of shit that's going on with that I'm not even going to say, but let's just say she has literally not even looked at him since that discovery, and it's actually been a few days since then. But so the kids have done their own machinations, and on this one occasion, after especially they got the groups settled for the project and everything, it was kind of fracturing pretty badly. Like, everyone was literally off doing their own thing. No one was cooperating with each other. There was like active division. And
then the other shoe fell.
well, let me get to, because I love how this all transpired. As they're off doing their own things, a gentleman started going around town, and he popped up and he introduced himself. His name was Scout Darlow.
This motherfucker.
And he was, he ran into various members of the team in various spaces around town. And he's like, oh, yes, I'm Investigator Darlow. I'm looking into an incident. A particular gentleman appears to have escaped over to this world. And, he was pretty openly talking about the fact that magic was a thing and that there was this wizard that also came through, a pointy-haired guy with somewhat pointed ears indicating a half-elf.
A lot of half-elves in this campaign.
Yeah, there are, surprisingly. A lot of half-elf solidarity, too. Calling out your OCs on their drama. Oh, shit, it's
Absolutely.
bitch o'clock. Okay.
When isn't it, though?
So first he met Ken and Louie and Prin and kind of identified Prin, because she's normally invisible, but he could apparently cast See Invisible and was able to see her. He then encountered Duo, and Duo was running around town trying to find out about Damien, one of their classmates who had gone missing. He then had headed over to the library, which is where Ophelia was with Curtis, as well as Diane, and they actually had a very interesting and pleasant conversation. He actually ended up also giving his own variations of the Sending Stones to both Ken and Ophelia. So they each had one that was part of a set. He had multiple sets of Sending Stones, and he wanted to be able to be in contact with us, just in case we saw this mysterious, potentially dangerous figure who had apparently committed some crimes and he was trying to bring in. So he meets all of these various people, and then at one point Duo does find Damien, the missing boy for the day, and what he tells is very different from what Scout recounts of having possibly seen this boy running around town. And so the inconsistency ends up being kind of figured out. So, Duo ends up taking the Sending Stone from Ken to contact him. And of course, this led to, actually, a kind of funny moment. It was basically because you can sometimes, space out or something while you're playing and you'll miss a detail. And the original Sending Stones that we were introduced to are ones that just automatically broadcast whatever noise was in their proximity. So Duo took this stone and started talking to it, but he didn't activate it the way that it was supposed to be activated. So he goes, "Are you there?" And he didn't get a response. And so he says, "All right, don't talk, but you are going to listen." And the DM had to go, wait. You have to put your thumb on this device to activate it. He was about to go full Navy SEAL on the fucking rock without actually having activated it. And I was like, it was a funny little brain fart
Local
moment.
student teacher yells at rock for half hour.
Yeah, and he might have too. And the thing is that
DM.
it turns out, as this conversation was going, Scout here was like, "Well, I don't remember giving you a Sending Stone." Duo made his threat: "If you ever threaten my students again, I'm going to come for you." And Scout laughs and says, "Oh, don't worry. No one's going to survive what happens tonight." And then a spell activated, and the town was hit by an earthquake.
Yeah.
You kin this dumbass so hard. Which one, Duo? Or Scout? Because I'm sorry, but Scout is not exactly the brightest bulb in the packet either. It turns out Scout's evil. I'm sure many of you saw that coming a mile away.
Oh, but, yeah. Never trust a blonde. They're just in it for fun.
Wow. So are girls.
Listen, I was a blonde as a kid. I can say that shit.
I was too. Anyway.
Hey.
I went brunette not too long after that, but I did start out as blonde. Anyway. Same. So at that, the team gathers, and they're like, okay, petty bickering aside, this is a serious situation, and we need to, get our shit together. The thing is that entire day, Tycho had actually been missing. She was off doing her own thing, and quite frankly, that was not uncommon. She frequently does whatever comes to mind for herself. So it turns out that she, that day, was busy befriending a certain individual who was introduced at least a couple of times. But again, I'm going to pop up his picture to give an idea. This guy right here, his name is Mundane, and he is perfect. He is also team dad. Like, he showed up, and eventually, like, the kids all gather, and they find out where Tycho is, and go over to meet her in the woods, which is kind of where the apparent center of whatever spell was cast was. They meet Weldon, and he's just immediately friendly with them.
Yeah, hey, Tycho, how come you get two dads?
I mean, yeah, Duo did also kind of adopt her, kind of.
Yeah, Tycho is, well, to clarify, she's homeless, has no place to stay except for Duo's place, and I guess Weldon's place, which is essentially the woods.
Yeah, he's hiding out from Scout, that's the thing. Weldon.
No reason I can't enjoy a little Chardonnay while I'm on the run.
I mean, anyway, so I may as well also show, like, I guess, the original concept art for this guy.
Yes.
He doesn't exactly look like a good person. But that is his cloak, which is hilarious.
It's a hell of a cloak.
It is a hell of a fucking cloak. Anyway, so I'm love him, and in that fight, it was actually kind of funny because they get there, they fight, because it was a fight. It does become a fight, obviously. There was a ritual being cast. They come across a bunch of necromancers or cultists or whatever, and they were trying to open a portal. And so our team, while they still had the element of surprise, ended up concocting a plan, largely headed by Ophelia. She was actually like, all right, so let's look at our strengths. Weldon pointed out that there was another individual who was lurking around who was not immediately visible to the rest of the team. And so Ophelia told Owen, being that he was not going to be a central combatant here, to focus his gun in the direction of where Weldon had pointed out this mysterious figure. And so Owen...
That's just it, like Scout had met everyone in the party except for Jess and Owen, so there's a good chance they might be able to get the upper hand.
Yes, well, you just revealed that it was Scout, which was not the case, which is not something that we knew at the time. We just knew that there was a mysterious other figure.
Apologies.
Anyway, so Ophelia tells him to train his gun on that and to stay focused on that, to watch their back so that they can focus on clearing the altar area. The ritual required the moon to reach a certain position in the sky to touch the altar, and that would activate the spell to open a portal. So they actually arranged it so that Jess would be able to get over to the altar, cover it with her jacket, and then also proceed to destroy it so that they couldn't finish the ritual. However, being that they were all gathered right there, they decided to do what they could to lure them away from the altar so that Jess would have a clear shot. And to do this, I remember there was a couple of things. I was actually watching it, and it was actually, I think it was Jess that was suggesting, like, who can do a lot of damage, but the way that I illustrated it, because I misremembered it, because Ophelia was doing a lot of, like, coordinating for everything else. Everything else that was here, she did definitely, like, assign people to various roles. So I drew this, and this was actually a summary of what happened. So, okay, is anyone able to take a little extra damage and shake it off? Weldon raised his hand. Oh, if you're sure then. So, do we have anyone who can do some serious damage? And he just raised his other hand. Really? Like, are you sure about this? And turns out, yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he was sure. He was correct. So, they organized and they basically planned it so that they were going to do some spells to draw them out, with Weldon doing the basic immediate attacks to draw their attention, and Ophelia cast an illusion of a little girl who basically goes, "You think you're the only ones with magic?" And have it seem like she was the one that cast the spell that almost instantly KO'd two of their party members. on the ritual side of things. Which, of course, as soon as Muelton cast that spell, everyone was like, "Damn, son!" Like, oh, fuck. Welcome back, Tucker. Anyway,
Yes.
so he did that, and the cultists actually did start chasing the illusion. Everyone was waiting for the cultists to actually get anywhere nearby, and meanwhile, the mysterious figure, the invisible figure, was lurking closer and closer to Ken and Louis and Prin, who had taken up a hiding position on the other side of the pathway. They were going to wait for more of the cultists to get closer and then kite them with their own magic spells to kind of ambush them and give Jess the opportunity to get over to the altar. Well, Weldon was also keeping an eye on this mysterious figure and spotted him just as he was about to actually attack Ken and Louis. And so, gonna pop this up here. I requested that this be sketched, and Gab was a pro and totally actually drew this. So, Scout comes up behind Ken and Louis and Prin, and they're focused on the battle. Weldon sees this, and he actually pulled one of the stars off of his cloak and cast a 7th level magic missile, which hit Scout pretty damn hard. But Scout was like, you know, his response, I mean, this was made up dialogue, but it was like, hey, I knew you couldn't help protecting those twerps, you fool. Hiding like a coward. You're weak, and I'm going to show you. And here's the thing. Owen, now that this guy was revealed, took the shot. Not only did he take the shot, he rolled natural 20. So he got crit damage.
Uh-huh. And this is a thunder magic, by the way.
Uh-huh. So just as Scout was starting to do an evil monologue, bam! And as he's recovering from that, Tycho ended up casting Mind Thrust, I think it was? Yeah, Mind Thrust, which I don't think it fully succeeded, but it basically caused some psychic damage.
Yeah.
And here Scout was, thinking he knew. He thought. Scout thought. Now please kill me too. Thank you, Welton, for protecting Best Boy. Now kill me too. I mean, you know.
This is the point where you're like, oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
It was a beautiful moment, and I was laughing myself into tears. But so they ended up kind of saving the day. The portal did end up getting opened, and a couple of individuals came through on the other side. And there was actually a traumatic moment for Ken and Duo when they accidentally fell into the portal and were brought back through by these individuals, and we're finding out more about that bigger plot that's going on. But they talked about the goddess Dahia and the god, I think it's Shirobos. I don't know how that's even spelled, but, you know.
Basically the gods of the sun and moon.
Yes. And the implication being that they are lovers. And these two individuals that came through, one of them immediately went to go... Oh, I'm even going to say... I should actually backtrack here. Because... So, Scout did not like having his ass handed to him. And in his rage and frustration, he ended up casting a huge area of effect spell of necromantic energy. This gigantic fucking sphere of necromantic energy. Now, from Weldon, this was not a big deal. He got hit by this and was kind of like, okay. Unfortunately, our characters are very low level. So most of the people who were caught in the sphere were actually reduced to like 4 to 5 health. Tycho was actually knocked into unconsciousness, as in 0 HP and in threat of death.
The funny thing is, Owen, being the most fragile boy of the party with the lowest set HP, was the only one, aside from Jess, who wasn't hit by this blast.
Uh-huh.
So he had the opportunity to heal Tycho back from the brink of death, because he managed to get healing magic the session before.
necromantic, aka vampires. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I illustrated this moment of Weldon, kind of brushing it off like, really? That was your best spell? And then he saw that the others were hurt. And he did not like that. And so he immediately went over to Scout and did Power Word Stun. And it worked. And Scout was efficient.
An announcement.
Scott Darling is a bitch-ass motherfucker.
Exactly.
So he went over Power Word Stun. Scout was out for the count. Then these two individuals come back through. Ken is traumatized. Doe is not doing so hot himself. They collect Scout because he did something he was apparently not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the paladin of the two of them, paladin, I think it was half-orc, tries to, Ophelia actually talks with him and makes it sound like, well, I'm curious to know more about this. I mean, if the goddess Dahia brings magic to our world and makes it more powerful, then I would love to know more about that. I mean, who doesn't want more power? And he gave her a medallion showing on one side the symbol for Shirbos and on the other the symbol for Dahia, but the symbol was kind of fucked up, apparently, for Dahia. It wasn't accurate. And yes, power word fuck, basically. Yeah. And yes, Power Word Stun is a level 8 spell. Yes, it is. Yeah. So yes, Weldon is not someone to fucking trifle with. So, long story short after that, they ended up saving the day, sort of. I mean, they didn't really, but it's mostly because the bad guys weren't interested in doing anything now. But I'm going to take a brief moment to talk about something. So this campaign actually was attempted before. This was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Without getting into the details of it, a lot of the same characters were involved. Unfortunately, someone who was originally in that campaign was not available for this one. Some things were kind of changed around, and unfortunately that campaign ended up kind of falling apart. When Weldon showed up, he already knew their names. Some of them, anyway. He seemed oddly familiar with many of them, and seemed to know more than what he was letting on. At one point, Ken asked a very interesting question. I'm pulling up this image, and this was drawn by Marcy, who plays Jess. Ken asked, bad future or alternate timeline? And Weldon replied, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
The implication is that the original timeline of the magic of the mundane individuals somehow did not go well, which we could kind of presume anyway, and that this is literally the Delta rune to the original Undertale of this campaign.
I was about to say, which makes the Susie comparison to Jess that much more pertinent.
So that whole thing ended, and all of these kids went back home traumatized, and because this was around the holidays and people had travel plans and all of that going on, we decided to call it for a break. And I was like, oh god, how can we leave it like this? How can we survive for the next month without playing this? And the answer is by drawing a lot of fan art.
Memes and shipping.
Memes and shipping, and just in general speculative stuff, fun shit going on. There has been a lot of personal development in terms of character plots and all of that. And I will say that I have loved so many of things. So, like, Scout and Weldon are implied to be somewhat rivals, as in that they are at least opposed to one another and they have met before. I will say, for example...
Are you pulling up what I think you're going to pull up?
I have no idea if you know what I'm going to pull up, but yes, happy holidays and sweet dramas, yes. So Stan Dahia, and I love the I'm a wizard and that looks okay, actually.
Yeah.
Dude, your waifu is trash. Some of the other alternate... Okay. So, the lady in this one is Liara. She was one of the people who came through and, grabbed Scout to drag him back home.
The Dark Elf lady.
Dark Elf lady. And apparently Ken now has a trauma related to her, so that he will actually have disadvantage rolls if anything relating to Dark Elves ends up popping up. Which is interesting. Because
just what this campaign needs. More racism.
Hey. So the thing is that he tends to mentally lock up whenever, Jay is involved in anything. And girls in general, but especially Jay. Now,
oh, yes.
That creates an interesting question. What happens if Miss Liara shows up again and decides to threaten Jay?
I mean...
Ken's gonna have a problem.
Or two.
So that's gonna be a thing, possibly, maybe? Yeah, D&D has a lot of casual racism, actually.
Oh, yes.
But let's see, going over... there was so much shit that got drawn. Let me pull up some of the art. Let's see.
I think one of my personal faves was the smartest twink in the room.
Yeah, I'll pull that up in a second. But, okay, so this is art actually from Red as a Tomato, or Jane, who also kind of technically voices Prin, but largely that's up to Gab, but, she's part of that character. Hi, Crackbox.
Yes.
So this is from left to right. This is Tycho, Duo, and a character that is not part of the campaign, an NPC in Duo's backstory named Carabelle. And the thing is that at one point, and I'm going to pull this up. I'm pulling up all sorts of fucking pictures. Where is... Okay. So in call with Griffin and Marcy, I pointed out... So, question. Mr. Duo, total himbo. Do you want to read?
It's not up on screen for me yet.
Well, then read it. Oh, thank you. I will take your money. Thank you so much, Crackfox.
That is not.
Anyway.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So, question. Mr. Duo, total himbo.
Thank you so much.
Not a question.
No.
And yes.
Absolutely himbo, says Jess. Marcy is not here to voice her, so. And now it's an ongoing joke that Duo is, in fact, a himbo. So Tycho is volunteering Duo as himbo, and Carabelle is laughing her ass off at this. Let's see. This, if it'll pop up, is from left to right. Jess, Owen, and Louie, with Owen giving them homework help. It's actually adorable and wholesome.
Yes.
And then there was Ophelia with her friends and her little brother Timothy at a sleepover. I guess the logic behind this was Evelyn was preparing to take a screenshot, and that Diane, who insisted, oh, come on, I'm not gonna love your little brother, come on. And Ophelia's like, uh-huh. And of course she does, because everyone loves Timothy!
I mean, again, I said it before, he is best boy.
He is the best boy, and I love him to death. He's so sweet. Little mini story.
I think the purest, most, heart-crushing picture I've seen of him is the original design that you made of him.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just, lightly colored, and he's got, he's, pigeon-toed, and it's I must protect...
Yeah, I can pull that up real quick.
Please.
There we go. This was literally just a concept sketch of him, but he is actually about 12 years old, but he is also stunted because of having been stabbed nearly to death. So
yeah,
he's not exactly having a fun time of it. I loved, though, that in the campaign at one point, Jess went to Ophelia's house to check up on Timothy. And, he was completely awkward, and he tried to be a good host, and he was like, oh, okay, did you want something to drink? And so they go into the kitchen, and he goes to the cupboard to try and get her a glass for water, and he can't reach the cupboard, and so he's just, stretching, he's like, and he, the way that I even described it is that, his face is showing distress, because he can't reach the fucking glass and be a good host.
Yeah.
But God. So
He is, in fact, baby.
he is, and I love him, and
Yes.
anyway, so the thing is that after introducing Mweldon, he is a fabulous motherfucker, and he's also very fourth wall breaking sometimes. Okay, so smartest twink. I'm actually going to give the context for this. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Talk to Transformer. But at one point, Gab put in the prompt. So if it's bolded here, it's the prompt that was initially pointed out. So Scout stared at Mweldon. If anyone's a himbo here, it's definitely you. Mweldon laughed. And you're just the smartest twink in the room. The wizard shuddered. I'm the smartest twink in the world. Master Mweldon ordered, if you can prove me wrong and convince yourself that I'm wrong, tell me then. Why? Because after that fight that I lost against you, I thought I was just some bad twink with no brains. So, the rest of that was kind of nonsensical. The entire exchange is beautiful. But, the smartest twink in the world I had to capture.
Yes.
With Mweldon laughing. And you're just the smartest twink in the room.
And you're just the smartest twink in the room.
I'm the smartest twink in the world. This is this sulky, pissy piss boy over here.
I absolutely love.
I love so much this exchange. We did also, interestingly enough, that week we had a small fantasy session as well.
Yeah.
Which was largely Vinny, Peek, and Sam, because Ham was distracted at the tavern that they were at, because the player was not able to attend because poor dude has been exhausted. But so Sam ended up, they'd had a conversation about mortality and the fact that that Prin was probably going to outlive all of them. Sam went to go look for something relating to immortality and ended up coming across an individual who attacked him and nearly killed him. When he got back, naturally Peek and Vinny, well, largely Peek, were like, don't do that again. You're grounded, mister, etc. Well, in the campaign, they end up going to this magic shop and they're kind of hearing word about they were gathering magical creatures and artifacts and selling them on the black market. And so they went to investigate this, but as they are investigating, a certain individual walked in, and it's very familiar to those of us in the campaign. It was Mweldon. And he came in and he
Who
was...
else but me, bitches?
And, oh, hi, Carl.
Yes.
Anyway, so he shows up and he goes, I believe you have something that does not belong to you. And thing is that things were already going sour with the rest of the team. So a fight started at that point, which Mweldon was actively participating in as well. And after a little bit of time, he was kind of just systematically destroying them. And at Peak actually turned to one of the employees, one of the people who are combatants technically in this, and said, get out of this while you can, get as far away from this, and change your life. This is your chance to try something new, be different from this. And the guy actually listened to her and ran out the door. And Weldon sighed and goes, oh, great. I gotta take care of that one, too. And he leaves. And he takes the guy down and comes back inside very casually.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even angry. He was just, not another one.
You guys are just giving me busy work at this point.
Picture of the smartest twink in the room. I don't know who is in the middle with the... Oh, that's both... That's Scout.
Yeah.
That is, this motherfucker. It'll pop
the
up.
blonde bastard.
This guy. The twink.
Hello, Skeeto.
Oh! That's, Skeeto, it's appreciated. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Honestly, this time of year, it's not uncommon for people to not exactly have a lot of money anyway, so...
Yeah.
I appreciate that you guys want to still help. Shit, I wish I could stay, but YouTube is fucking up. I'm sorry, Alex. I love you too, Alex.
Take care.
We have been talking for an hour, by the way.
Oh, yes, I would hope so.
I'm just saying, we've been going for a while on this, but there's a lot to unpack. Anyway.
Oh, yes.
So, in the fight, I will say there was also a funny moment where, like, in terms of the roles, this played out really well. Where one of these guys, so Peak was pissed because they went after her son, aka Sam, who's not actually her son, but she's basically
adopted him
at this point. And he kept rolling like 2s while trying to attack her. So the headcanon is that she was pissed enough that she would glare at him and that would make him stop. It's just like, yeah, do not fuck with Peak. Peak will end you. So, the thing is that at one point, while she was actually gripping that last guy, Weldon came over and stabbed the fuck out of him. Yeah. Like, it wasn't even, it wasn't even necessary. The guy was very clearly taken care of. And yet, let me scroll to find the right place, because I did render this.
Hesitate, bitch.
I mean, he won't. That's the thing. So he came up and very coldly just killed the guy. And Peak was appalled. Ophelia, watching through her dream, was intrigued. Because this is not the same Weldon that they met. The Weldon that they met was nice, friendly, dad guy, So... Yeah. The comparison here, when modern crew meets Weldon, I'm here to help. When the fantasy crew meets Weldon, well, to put it mildly, they had a conversation that did not go well, and when Vinny was blocking his way into a room that he needed to get into, he used suggestion to force him to move. And so, personality-wise, almost two completely different people, and we don't yet know why. There's obviously speculation.
The dichotomy of daddy.
You say that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's obviously some questions about exactly what's going on there. Why is he like that then? And meanwhile, Louis, who is possessed by Sam, like during the fight, they were like team wizard hanging out and everything, but in the dream, he watched Weldon stab a bitch. So Louis is having some issues processing everything that's happening.
Yeah.
So there's that. I will say one of my favorite moments was, so Peak was talking to him and being like, why did you go after that guy? He wasn't attacking. He was not fighting you. You could have just let him run. And Weldon basically ignored her to let her talk. And so, frustrated, she stalked over to him and flicked him on the back of the head, saying, "Excuse me, I wasn't done talking."
I'd like to see your manager.
Well, she didn't exactly do that. She just flicked him on the back of the head. This man that she has seen take out multiple people in rapid succession and stab someone brutally right in front of her. He did not like that. Like, he legit, that was his first moment of actual anger after having actually walked in on this situation. And I love this one because it has Sam in the background going, oh no. Because this was the motherfucker that attacked Sam. And so she was like, all right, we're going to need to have a word. So it did not exactly end well, but it was fine in the end. Because he got what he wanted and then he left. He didn't kill anyone else. But at the end, they were just kind of like, all right, well, we survived, so that's fine.
I still love how, like, I think it was even earlier in the session. They're just like, yeah, guys, let's do some crimes. Cut later in the session. What the fuck is wrong with you stabbing someone?
I mean, yeah, there was definitely that.
And that was what inspired me to make that fucking meme. I still have the link. I'm tempted to ask you to show it to them.
Not right now.
Sure.
I will say, among other things, I drew this based on this one video that we saw of, like, a cougar hanging out outside of the house and hissing at a cat.
Yes.
And, like, the dad's filming and the mom's like talking in the background, and this is almost literally quote for quote, but oh my. Oh gosh. Where are the kids? They're out back. Vinny? Are you kidding me? Shh, you're gonna scare the cultists off. They're still in bed. That is not funny. You just about gave me a heart attack. Like, that's based on a video if you know what's being referenced, but I was this moment is just them. Other Peek and Vinny, vibe things is like, there was this one, like, text message screenshot of the mom texting the kid saying, "Don't buy your father any more toys." And then the dad texting saying, "I broke that lightsaber you got me." So okay? in the gap between sessions, all we've been able to do is fucking draw memes, because that's all we can do. And ship.
Oh, yes.
Let's see. Oh, so I mentioned that after that session where Mweldon was introduced, there was actually, a section, like, in the Roll20 where, a duo attempted to pose, because he plays the Green Fist. He is the Green Fist. And he likes big... Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for subscribing. Anyway, so he likes to pose, and then Mweldon attempted to pose in response, and Ophelia naturally posed because she is that extra bitch. So I drew the pose squad.
Yes.
Representative of their various ability to pose.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, Duo rolled like an 18, Mweldon rolled like a 13, so I mean, reasonable. Ophelia rolled like a 23, I think it was. So, Pose Squad, and I'm this is actually going to eventually be colored, but for example, Ophelia and Mweldon are absolutely on the same fucking page when it comes to being extra as fuck.
Fucking Ginyu Squad looking ass.
Would you? So, when I say I'm love Mweldon, I mean it.
Oh, yes.
As in, he is actually going to become canon to the Ballad of Lorelei. She is going to meet him at some point.
Oh, Lord. That's gonna be interesting.
Now, see, I am super self-indulgent. Okay?
What the fuck you say?
Well, at one point, and I'm going to have to show... So... Gab also loves drawing her shitty wizard man. Her words, not mine. So, among other things, she drew this. And I was like, yes, immediate save, thank you. 420, that's the sex number. JoJo posing, yes.
Yes.
So,
this one.
that led to me doing this.
This is illegal, you know.
Yeah, so I have actually got a new look that is probably going to eventually debut in the Ballad of Lorelei. Because... Oh, hi, Serena Midori!
Hello!
Hi, Sean!
The
Welcome!
goddess herself. Hey, guys, so say hello to the DM and the player of Duo from our campaign.
I was not expecting this today. Hi!
What a pleasant surprise.
I'm just showing everything, okay? I was talking about this long... Hi, Cyberlink 420.
Yeah, and that is the player for Ken.
Uh-huh. So, I took that picture and I was like, just so you know, this is illegal here. And I mean specifically in the ballad verse, Lorelei referring to, okay, so this picture here, she's a little fourth wall breaking. I don't know if that's been obvious yet. I know that it definitely happened in the Return of the Reviews video on Cybernetic Pink Eyes channel.
Yes.
I don't kill these people. Luke is also here. Yes.
Yes, Luke, CyberLink 420. He is the player for the character of Ken.
Yes. So, I drew this speculative thing, so you're saying I can't do this, and this big fucking grin. Correct.
Oh, geez, that's actual fire.
So then that got followed up by... So, okay. At some point, I drew something incredibly self-indulgent. No promises about not killing us. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, that is the only correct answer for a DM.
So I drew this because... And Gab, in call with me, flustered. And then immediately drew this. So, when that popped up, I then decided to do the sequel to What's Illegal. With This Is Also Illegal, by the way. And then don't do that. It's pretty simple. We walk towards death constantly.
As I walk towards the valley in the shadow of death.
So, that's been... Oh, God, and there was also this one. Again, very self-indulgent. And then there's this... Oh, that's nice. Excuse me.
I need an adult.
So, Lore is just as much of a flirt as I am. Heck yeah, ahaha. Don't, I'm red-faced.
Hey, hi, and welcome to publicly shaming Serena Midori.
It's not. I'm shaming myself.
Well, yes, but you're also vicariously shaming her.
Yes. But mostly me. So all of this is to introduce all of these characters in the campaign and all of that, because so Gab has also been working overtime on a lot of art, and I can't even show a good chunk of it because some of it is spoilers. But she has also made a couple of animatics. And this is, by the way, while not at her computer. This is, well, she's on vacation, and she's doing this all on whatever tablet device it is. I forget exactly what it is. Yes, I love your boy. Everyone loves your boy, Serena Midori. So, a couple of animatics, and you might even recognize the audio from... Well, you probably may recognize the audio from both of them.
Yes.
Where is... Well, it's alphabetic, so you'd think I'd be able to find it. But, okay, so I'm going to pop this up.
This is going to be good. Get your popcorn,
You could be
kids.
crucified.
So, this is just a bit of beauty. And if you don't know what... The audio is apparently from Markiplier's joint channel with a friend. The, I guess, 1-year channel that they're eventually just going to delete everything. The context in the video is that they are apparently taping each other, like, to the wall or something. I have not seen this. iPad Air 11-inch. There you go. Okay. Anyway, so this is beautiful. And this is... This is so in character that it's painful.
You could be crucified anywhere.
I don't know if I would want to be like on display, because if I'm getting crucified, I would have to have done something bad, like something.
Or maybe they just don't like you.
No, it doesn't seem. Everyone likes me.
Well,
All right, let's assume, for the sake of argument, that I'm getting crucified just because I murdered 3 people on a Thursday night. It was cold. It's partly cloudy, but the moon is still peeking through.
Why is there so much description?
Just enough light to see, but not enough to see me approach. Snuck up behind them, knife in hand, blood pumping in my ears.
okay, this is a hypothetical scenario. You
This,
don't
yeah, this is hypothetical. This is not. What do you think I did this?
No, but I'm saying that you don't need to explain it in such vivid detail, because
No.
why would you?
Why would I?
Also, why would you know the vivid details of what you did?
Well, I have a vivid imagination. I'm trying to get in character. It's all about my acting core.
At the core, what we're trying to figure out is where would you be crucified? It really doesn't matter what you did to be crucified, because that is just kind of a moot point to bring up.
I'm getting to it. Cold. See my breath
Okay,
steaming.
the thing about
Whipping
it
away.
that you keep coming back to is,
Whip it.
you know, the reason that you were crucified. It doesn't matter the reason. The why doesn't matter. the where matters.
I feel like the why always matters.
So that is so in character, and I love it.
Yeah, that'd be him.
And just last night, Gab finished another animatic.
This is gonna be good.
A shorter one, but this features some of the other male characters in the campaign.
Yeah, mostly NPCs, but
Mostly NPCs, but a couple of players. Well, actually, it's a mix of both, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to identify all of them. Some of them are going to be obviously familiar. And I will say Curtis is the one with the bow tie, just
Yeah.
in case you guys need to know. Anyway.
I like big boys, itty bitty boys, Mississippi boys, and the city boys. I like the pretty boys with the bow tie. Get your nails did, let it blow dry. I like a big beard, I like a clean face. I don't discriminate. Come and get a taste from the playboys to the gay boys. Go and slay boys, you my fave boys.
Also, by way of explanation, that is Gab's DM Sona, Gabris. And, yeah. She kind of exists too. I love that thing so much. So thank you, Gab, for my life. I just wish that I could show some of the shit that we've been drawing behind the scenes. Unfortunately, not only are those spoilers just in general, but those are spoilers for, like, my story stuff that I want to do.
plus I have the distinct impression the screen of both our monitors would shatter from the screeching of Jane off in the distance.
In order, Damien, Ryan, Louis, Ken, Curtis, Joseph, Duo, Alex, Owen. Thank you, Luke.
Yes.
Christ, you know what? I said I was going to be playing Dragon Age today, but I guess here's the fucking question. I'm going to pose it out loud, and then I'm actually going to type it. See if people who are involved in the chat want to get in a fucking call with the two of us. But,
I mean, I would be down for a, the Magic of the Mundane podcast sort of thing. Sorry, just I saw in the campaign chat, Sean, the player for Duo, just posted quoted me as saying, "Can you squad looking ass?" and just a couple of the characters going, "Yeah, about that."
so, are you making a call-out post on your Twitter? No, I already did that for Gab. I already... God, it was a little while ago, although I don't tweet very often, so let me just find the specific wording. Cause scrolling. I posted some of my artwork. God, from Luke falling asleep in call. The moon. It's falling. I've come to make an announcement. Serena Midori is a bitch-ass motherfucker. She made me fall in love with her NPC. So I'm making a call-out post on my
feelings.
So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com. How do you like that, Obama? I'm in love with an NPC, you idiot! It's a problem.
How do you like that, Gabrus? I shipped on the moon, you idiot.
But, well, let's see. I don't know if people can join. That's the other part of it, too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking and waiting for them to respond.
Possibly have weekend plans and the like.
Well, would that actually encompass Gab, though, with that tag? Yeah,
true.
she is. Okay.
Yeah.
Moonfalling, what is this? That's what it is, though.
Yeah.
Literally, so... It's complicated because what actually happened was that, like, Luke closed his laptop because it was getting late and he was just basically asleep anyway. But we asked him, like, a question and he didn't respond, and we're like, oh no, he fell asleep. So we started making the jokes of the moon, it's falling.
which is
Okay.
in reference to I don't even know the name of the stream, but apparently they were Twitch streaming Majora's Mask, and they fell asleep, and it got to the point where the last day arrived and the moon was falling, and people were trying to wake them up in chat, going, "The moon, it's falling."
So, looks like we've been given the okay. So let's hop into the general chat of that server, shall we?
Okay.
All right. Wow, just immediately over here. Hi. So it's just the two of us at the moment, but now we're in a place where other people can join the call.
Oh yes.
Subscribe to the podcast day one. The thing is that weirdly enough, so the original campaign was literally, in fact,
Hey, speak of the devils.
hey,
It was one time!
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Cyberlink420, creator of Sonic F, and the character player for Ken. And we also
feel
here
so
have
called out right
Serena
now.
Midori, the fabulous DM for this whole shit show.
yes,
I'm here. It's me, Mr. Shit Show.
Mr.
You
Shit.
might,
Also,
you
Sean
might
is
remember
also
me
here.
from such
We're on the same
playthroughs as Evoland and Evoland 2 and whatever we end up doing next, because we really need to get on that at some point.
I absolutely agree.
And joining us as well, as Gab pointed out, is also Cadet Hat Sean, the character player for Duo.
Say hi.
Hello.
He's drawing. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
No worries.
That's fine.
So yeah, now you have a better idea for some of the characters behind these characters.
So,
Ah, wordplay. I love it.
Yes.
anyway, so yes, this is a good chunk of the crew. We do not currently have Marcy with us, and we do not have Tom with us, and occasionally Red as a Tomato likes to join in. So Rekti plays both Hamthroats as well as Tycho. He is not present right now, and Marcy
He's
plays
being
Jess.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
fair.
Marcy being Nizumi VA, talented voice actor who also does some really cool video essays. Go check
Yes.
her stuff out.
Absolutely. So Nezumi VA, if you want to fucking Google it. If you want to fucking giggle. God damn it.
What?
No, it was at the same time on my end.
I know.
Really? I'm so surprised.
Good.
But
I mean, you're not even wrong, Phoenix. That's essentially Ken.
I mean, so Ken is a nervous boy.
Yes.
He's a very nervous boy. I'm just better at hiding it.
Yeah. And Ophelia's a bitch, and I'm not very good at hiding it.
Touche.
I mean,
Wow,
So-
thanks.
When you are a Heather.
so are I and Owen, and neither of us even try to hide it.
You literally just made the logician again.
Yes, pretty much, except, well, biracial and also physically broken.
Wow.
A broken
What?
shell of a boy.
Yeah.
What a mean way to talk about your boy.
Get him some milk.
He
So-
needs some milk.
Yes.
My original plan for this tonight was to actually play a game at some point, but instead I was just so excitedly talking about this campaign. So,
I remember you mentioning it. I'm like, you know what? I should crash your stream. So I was just sitting there listening to you talk about the about the campaign for a while.
and you gotta understand how much I love this campaign, Gab. Like, I will talk about it for hours. I have talked about it for hours. And I want everyone to know about this campaign because it is so good.
Aw.
And I am so mad that I can't share the artwork of the last few days with anyone but you and Jane.
At this
gonna
point, we might as well
happen.
just rename the stream like D&D Talk or something.
I mean, I might have to do that. I was gonna say posthumously, but that's not quite right.
Yeah.
No,
No,
you can do
no.
it after we're all dead.
Yeah, I will do it after you're all dead.
Postmortem.
Lord will outlive us all.
Yes.
I didn't say that.
Me and the boys streaming
Boys
up all
stream
night
while
talking
I
about beans!
But, so, I will even say this. The last few days have been destroyed because I made an artle. I made an artle.
You
yes.
made an artle
I made an
Damn
artle.
yeah.
with your
And
artistic skittles.
Yes.
I mentioned I mentioned something to Gab offhand, and she basically went, wait 1 second, wait right there, what, wait, what? Hang on! Hang the fuck on! And ever since then, it has been a disaster that I have loved participating in.
When you make an offhanded comment that actually changes the shape of your whole game.
Like, yeah, no, literally. What if you could do animation about the campaign? Dingo Doodles does that. I mean, that's just it. I will even say, technically, we are recording all of our sessions. We're not posting them. Like, they're more for our reference than anything else. But if at some
and
point...
I'm not cleaning them up because I refuse to edit down 7 hours.
Understandable.
Fair.
If you don't mind me mentioning that, by the way, the first campaign we did of Magic of the Mundane was actually, like, supposed to be a podcast.
Yeah.
And what we did was we played, like, sessions that were a bit far and few between, like, every few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would do within every week is I would take about an hour or so chunk and edit it down, or basically edit down to each, like, chunk. Like, each session was, like, split in half, I think. And then I would not only edit out all the pauses and things that shouldn't be in the episode, but, like, I had to make sure that the music was there and the sound effects were there. And the first few episodes, it turned out great. Like, I was drawing all the icon art and getting all the episodes up on time. And after a while, you realize, like, hey, this is a job, and I don't have time for this.
Mm-hmm.
So then Luke was so gracious to be like, hey, I'll take over if you want. And he did, and then he realized his mistake.
Yeah.
And then it became every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then we just stopped.
Yeah, it was...
For more than that being the only reason, but that's also the reason why we're not making this a podcast. It's probably not going to make it, like, as public in that regard, but, like, doing animatics from, like, actual scenes is not that far off.
No.
Oh, yeah.
There are some plans technically in the works for exactly that. Like, I mean, basically, keep an eye on my social media, because you better believe that if it gets posted somewhere, I will be linking to it. And if you want to see my social media, you can always check the description of every last one of my videos.
Wow, where can we find your stuff, Laura?
Like I just said, in the description of every last one of my videos, bitch. Pay the fuck attention.
I'm sorry, I wasn't taking notes.
I know.
Sorry.
And chances are you'll see me there too, in all sorts of awkward positions, both literally and figuratively.
Should I pull
It's
up?
all in Elvish. I can't understand it.
I can't. I will not.
Wait, no, it's in Elvish. I'm the only one who can understand it.
I am tempted, however, to pull up the balloon. But it's not.
No. Put my foot down. Nope.
Nope. It is, in fact, not happening.
Should we explain?
No,
absolutely not.
It's better if we don't.
We'll let the audience use their imagination.
Better yet, don't.
Okay, but I'm using my...
The worst part is...
Yeah, that's the problem.
Again, I somewhere I feel Jane just vibrating in place. It's like, I sense a disturbance, Gabby!
Where?
Jane, but yeah.
Wait a second. I thought I had... Did I move it or rename it somehow?
Oh,
because I had the fucking, like, so that tree comment, because, okay, I may as well just summarize it. I was going to see what I could do to actually fucking quote it. So, like, we were talking, and so in the last campaign, Weldon was also introduced. And when he was introduced, he wasn't really doing anything to anyone. Like, he was actually putting on a magic show. But our team, basically decided that they were going to ambush him, steal his cloak, and he got pinned up against a tree by Duo in that campaign. And meanwhile, while this is happening, my character, the previous incarnation of Ophelia, who was a very shy, unable to raise her voice over a certain decibel level character. That's, again, a long story, but, so she's standing there watching this, and she's like, guys, he hasn't even done anything yet! Why are we fighting him? And it was...
Why you gotta do me dirty like that?
In my defense, I didn't fight. I let Prin punch him in the face, then grabbed her and ran.
Yeah, in that game, she had a very...
Blame the pixie with the shillelagh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, she didn't have a shillelagh back then.
Oh, God.
And in my defense, he grinned very sadistically right as Ken and Prin...
Yeah, no, he was about to chase them. So
That's
Joel
the
was
man,
trying to
officer.
protect them.
That's the one who gave me bedroom eyes.
Wow. So, it was one of those things where Duo pinned him to a tree, and another character ended up actually taking taking the cloak off of him, which made him apparently very sad.
No
And so-
dono Yamate.
It was mentioned in the chat. Oh wait, no, I remember where I posted it. I was like, I was looking at the wrong folder. Okay, there it is. So this is actually
She's not Irish, Phoenix. She just has a shillelagh.
yeah. So this exchange happened, and it's gonna pop up on the stream.
Yes.
But well, and actually, I mean, it's gonna pop up on the stream, so I might as well just drop this in here if you guys want to fucking read this aloud. So okay,
Oh, yes.
starting with Luke, and is it alright if Griffin just reads Walden's line there?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I posted it in the clubhouse, guys.
Yeah, I see it.
Alright.
By which you mean I'm not going to fucking shove you against a tree and hold you in place, right, Sean?
No, that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh.
I got a much warmer welcome than this time.
Well, no, that's an interpretation, but
Yeah.
no, it's
sorry. I'll
It's-
rephrase that. I got a much warmer welcome this time around. Oh.
I love the implication is that I just literally fucking tackled him. Awesome.
I thought glomping died out years ago.
No,
Oh God. Well,
It
so
did
did the Yowie paddle, but
I
Stop.
mean,
And yet here we are.
yeah.
and yet here we are.
And yet there's Prim.
Here we are. Yeah, I
It's a shillelagh that's different.
But so you can tell we have fun, and we're going to
yes.
continue to
Do
have
we?
fun. Yes, we do. Okay, I know that was a
It's
Ken
hard to tell
moment.
sometimes.
It's hard to tell. Well, yeah, because your character keeps getting tortured by everyone around him.
Yeah, so I imagine there might be a
Okay.
smidge bit of bias in effect.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
You have no idea, huh? But yes, our characters are still not exactly friends yet. We're hoping. Hence why these pictures were actually drawn, which was like, you know, let's draw them being happy and friends
By the way, I'm
and
coloring the one on the right now.
nice.
It really is a fantasy.
Yeah, didn't Jane draw the one where everyone's in like a treehouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, so at one point I requested, because Kat was like, all right, I'm taking sketch requests, and I was like, can you draw Ophelia flirting with Curtis? And so she did draw this, and I was like, oh, that's rather tame, actually. But
And
So-
I don't know
then
what you want.
all hell broke loose.
so yeah, no. So she drew it. I mean, this is reasonable. This is cute. This is casual flirting. And then I was like, but it's not enough. So then I decided to draw Ophelia escalating the flirtation. And then nervously him responding, Ophelia? Yes? And the best part is that right after I posted this, Griffin, who plays Owen, typed in the chat, go ahead.
Leave the boy alone.
And so I couldn't resist, and I ended up drawing that as an additional bit here. By the way, you may notice, you may be able to see on stream that these are all named Curtis Flirtus.
Yeah.
Curtis,
I do love the naming scheme you have for all these.
Oh yes, well, I try. The ones I have Happy's color, for example, because they're happy. I did actually, just last night, draw an additional Curtis Flirtus.
Yes, I saw.
Yes. You're a dear. I'll find a way to thank you properly. Now, I will say this is technically cropped from something else, but that's a spoiler.
Don't Sans laugh at me.
Look,
Let's see. Ah, yes. You mentioned the... Now, who's ready for crime time?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
the great crimes.
Being
So-
magic, do crimes. Being magic, do crimes.
Oh god, and I can't show that one. I can't. That's just unfortunate. Let's see, which of these can I show? Oh, well, at one point, so again, Gab was asking for sketch requests, and I was like, thoughtful, let's do like a little maybe plot speculation thing. What if Ophelia actually reached out to Scout when they encounter him next? Like, in the basis of, like, hey,
Don't
we're
be
not.
evil.
Yeah, don't be evil. And
Have you ever considered just don't?
Aren't you tired of
Several times, actually.
Aren't you tired of going apeshit? Don't you want to just be nice?
so, after being punched in the face, probably by Duo and Jess both, there was the what have I done? I'm sorry, I don't deserve this mercy. And of course, I was like, well, it's Ophelia. So, as soon as she meets someone, she is going to flirt with them.
Yeah.
Which...
She has a problem.
She has a problem. I'm not
Look at
even
the
fucking
cause.
denying that. Which, in response to that, Gab drew this.
God.
She likes to draw her boys a fluster.
Yeah.
Listen, I would say I have a problem, but that would be lying.
Yeah, saying that you have a problem would be... Well, it's not so much that you have a problem so much as the problem has you.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair.
You know? I will say, among other things, the...
I'm having a problem, and the problem is you.
So Ophelia still has a sending stone that that Scout gave her, and of course I naturally speculated that the way they get in contact with Scout, assholes sit in this box, bored enough to actually pick up. Scott Darling is a bitch-ass twink! I just...
When you get prank called on your own personal sending stone.
Exactly.
I just love the idea that, you know, she throws this out. He tries to, you know, return it. She's like, new stone, who dis?
That would be hilarious.
Scout gets owned for a third time.
Scout gets owned because he did get bitch slapped by Liara.
Yep.
And also a gun.
Well, yes.
Also, the power word stun was kind of, you know.
Very, yes.
Oh, man.
So this actually happened in Call, where Red as a Tomato actually was asking about how to do, like, a more sultry tone, because if you've watched some of my videos, I occasionally can slip into a slightly silkier tone.
I mean, there are a few better teachers.
So she asked me to help, and so I was actually giving her a couple of instructions, and meanwhile, Luke was in the call, and in character, this also translates.
Oh my god, please stop.
Stop teaching my little sister these things!
My little sister can't be this adorable.
I feel so uncomfortable right now.
You should. Oh, and this was another conversation that also happened in character, which, God, I'll also drop this into the clubhouse so that you can see it. I know you'll also be picking up on God, where's the fucking there's the Discord.
Where's the fucking?
Where the fuck? Well,
Where
that's
is-
in a different
You don't
server
wanna know.
altogether.
Where is the fucking?
Yes.
Anyway, so...
Alright, here we go.
Oh, what? No. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'll kick this off. This was actually said in Call, but it was like, I mean, let's face it, the boys in this class, slim pickings.
Tell me about it.
Ow.
I do feel, and I've said this before, that Ophelia and Owen, if they ever get over their respective shit, would absolutely be the catty friends.
I was gonna say their complementary cattiness is even exemplified by their choice in elemental magic.
Yeah? Well, that's thunder and lightning, which are technically two different things. But whereas you've got the sonic boom, lightning has the flashy boom.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, Ophelia largely is going to... So, her sorcerer's origin, or, well, technically peaks, is that of bronze dragons, which have an elemental affinity with lightning. So, her lightning spells are going to be boosted by +6 to whatever damage she rolls based on her... Or is it +6? No, it would be +5. No, whatever it is. Whatever it is...
I think it is 5.
It's her charisma modifier gets added as damage to every spell that she casts with lightning affinity.
Oh, yes, I'm well acquainted with this, that bit of stat trivia, as the very first, well, I guess technically the second D&D character I ever played was a Bronze Dragonborn Ranger. That was years and years ago, and that was like the one and only full-length beginning to end campaign that I was ever part of.
It's really cool.
Yeah, he was an interesting character, a bit OP because he had this sort of game-breaking item on called the Chains of Fate, which basically gave him Deadpool powers, where he could kind of recover after hitting, like 0 HP. And I remember specifically the first time that ever happened was when he was straight up decapitated by this centipede woman. And I rolled a saving throw and managed to pretty much end her after recovering with a double swing of my dual scimitars.
Hi, Brian. Welcome to the stream. I am, for those of you who are just joining, I am joined by my usual co-host with Cybernetic Pink Eye, as well as now some of my other friends from the D&D campaign that I am in. I am the D&D campaign.
I am the campaign.
I am the D&D campaign.
Well, you are, Gab. That's the thing.
Okay,
you literally are. So there's Gab, or Serena Midori. There is Sean, Cadet Hat Sean. There is also Cyberlink 420, which you may remember from my Evil Land Let's Plays.
Yes.
Anyway, just as an update for people who are just joining, Scout is just a poor boy. If he isn't power word fucked, he's getting prank called on his own stone. Look, I'm going to say this, the motherfucker deserves it. He fucking
killed my child.
He tried to kill all of us.
Did.
He kind of did kill her, and it was just like, Owen did but heals though.
Yeah.
I also, because now I'm looking at this, so I'm going to introduce Ophelia's parents, because here's the joke. When I was redesigning Ophelia for this campaign, I decided to model her more after Byakuya Togami from, so she was visually something like, let me even pull up the original sketch that I made of her, because that will be helpful too.
From that good old Dang It Grandpa game.
Yes. So visually a love child of Byakuya Togami and Toko Fukawa.
Which is fucking horrifying.
When you think about it, yeah. Conceptually, but personality-wise, she's meant to be very domineering, sort of on the rational side of things, practical, like, yes, that's nice, but let's try to, actually get shit done. Yeah. She has since turned into the flirt master, but that is in itself, its own thing. She has evolved from the original conception, but I will say that when I designed her parents, I did keep the whole love child of Byakuya and Toko in mind. And so, her parents are Blaine and Trudy Price. And, I mean, visually, they're basically knockoff Togami and Fukawa, but...
It's beautiful, though.
They are wonderful. And so I decided to elaborate a little bit more, because Blaine is the business guy. He's the one who runs the business. He's the one who is absolutely, driving it from the back end kind of thing. Meanwhile, Trudy is sort of the front-facing individual. She is the social master. She is, very much the PR person, the one who goes on television and does the interviews. She is social networked with, everyone and all of that. She's very good at that, and that's where Ophelia gets it from, which is also horrifying because she is very much a Stacy's mom situation.
Yeah.
Literally, one of her classmates, we keep joking that he's literally going to volunteer to mow their lawn as soon as he hears that they're back from their business trip.
I mean,
it's like, yeah, Ophelia, I heard your mom's back. Can I come over? I'd rather you not, actually.
Comes over and the mom is just in the Toka schoolgirl outfit.
She wouldn't do that.
God. Oh no.
She would not do that. I love some of my other concept art involving Trudy, but those I can't show.
Yeah.
But I will say that if you look at Ophelia, who is a domineering, manipulative person who is exceptionally good at flirtation for being a 17-year-old girl, someone who is very much top of her game, and the sort of person who always gets her way no matter what, and you look at her parents, Blaine, who always gets his way no matter what, who is very cold, distant, logical, very focused on the work side of things. And then there is Trudy, who will flirt with teenage boys for fun. I'm just a small boy, nobody loves me. She would do anything for love, but she won't do that. Well...
I mean...
And the running joke is that if the other kids, if anyone in the party meets Trudy, they're gonna be like, I understand so much about Ophelia now.
This explains everything.
It literally does.
Hey, Ophelia, I hear your mom's back in town. Can I stay as far away from your house as physically possible?
I'm okay with that. You didn't even have to ask me, but I appreciate your consideration of my feelings.
I'm glad we could come to an understanding.
Gabbers in the distance, like, Ophelia's mom has got it going on.
Yeah.
She's all I want, and I've waited for so long. Meanwhile, like, even Gabrus is like, I might hit that.
I might.
With a storm of locusts.
With a bat.
With a bat. Would you please not hit? Ophelia requests. Yeah, true. Okay. You know what? You brought that up, so now.
The world is not ready for, a situation in which Muelchima becomes canon.
Oh, no.
1, 2 felonies.
So. So here's the thing. I'm gonna fucking play this shit. So ages ago, in the original campaign, when I was still rocking my old look, there was a moment where she mentioned bats in this cavern.
Here we go.
Like a cave full of bats.
A cave full of bats, and I was playing a druid, and I was going to do something, so to add the context to why I asked this, I was going to have her, try to lure the bats away or distract them with what their favorite food would have been. But so I was asking what kind of bats, because it would either be fruit or some kind of insect. However, Gab did not understand my intention.
I didn't get that at the time.
So I did a nice little animatic of that moment as it was recorded. And I'm going to play that for you guys now.
What kind of bats are they? They're bats.
What kind of bats are they? They're bats.
They're bats.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
As a DM, when you're asked, hey, what type of bats are these? I'm like, listen. I didn't plan for this.
Wait.
I didn't realize that was your reasoning. If I had known, I would have just said, whatever works for you.
What is one individual kobold's personal motivation in attacking us at this point?
The actual type of bat doesn't matter so long as you say, hey, I'm gonna roll that. In my mind, that's how it goes. But when you ask the question, I was like, I don't know, they're bats.
I know. The thing is that I was asking because I was going to have her do druid craft and specifically summon the kind of food that they would eat.
And I wish I realized that.
No, I love so much that it came out that way. I'm probably going to be redoing that with, more up to date. With the DM Sona for Gabrus and my new look. They're Batman's bat. Stacy's mom's got it going on.
Yes.
So,
yes, she does.
I will even say also, so in the original campaign, after Muelden was introduced and they were like, what do we do with him? And they're like, well, let's put him in, where someone who let's keep him somewhere where people are going to be able to keep an eye on him. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but they decided on the herb store because the owner, I think, was familiar with magic.
I thought it was the toy store.
So what?
No.
No. In the old campaign, I actually remember this. I actually remember it in vivid detail.
Yes.
It's always if you
Yuo
listen
had
to it
to roll
relatively
to see. He had to roll to see who of the adult characters in town that he was friends with needed a roommate.
Right.
And he rolled literally the woman that they just met the other day. At the herb store, it's run by this old lady and her sister, who's much, much younger, who's just this absolutely drop-dead gorgeous woman. So he's like, oh yeah, this incredibly beautiful woman needs a roommate.
I was going to say, Gabby, maybe pop the art for Liza in the chat so we can...
I don't have it on me.
It would be in the player's doc, so we could probably screenshot it.
I can't save images from my iPad though.
I can
Yeah.
probably.
Good point. I got it.
All right.
If one of y'all can grab it from the doc, yeah. But yeah, so this
I'm on
character's
it.
name was Liza,
Yes.
and they had to go and introduce her
So
to.
there's
Yeah.
the what I was leading up to with that was less like the actual circumstances, which were hilarious, but they were going to basically put Weldon with her so that he could be somewhere in town and so that they could kind of keep an eye on him. We never got any further than that, unfortunately. However, Ophelia in the last campaign had started to become just exceptionally done with everyone. After attacking Weldon for no fucking reason, and after Duo decided to make his debut as the Green Fist by face planting on the ground.
Yep.
Ophelia had enough, and even the shy, quiet girl who just she had become passive aggressively sarcastic, and I like to imagine that was the energy that swept up into the current incarnation of Ophelia. So this quote, however, I found this file. I'm gonna open this and give this a proper introduction. Hello.
Yeah, we found a.
Hi.
So anyway, so it as they're trying to sell Weldon to Liza or Eliza,
Liza.
Liza.
Yeah.
Ophelia decided to make her own little sarcastic comment, and the last line in this is said by Tycho, who is played by Rec D. This is Ophelia's comment, and I fucking crack the shit up over this.
Yeah, we found a bum sitting around in the woods. I'm sure that would be the perfect roommate.
She says that mostly to herself.
He's a nice bum.
So, oh yeah, sure, I'm sure he would be the perfect roommate. He's a nice bum. And of course, I look back on that, because initially I didn't think much of Weldon. We didn't have enough time to really get to know him very well. And so I was kind of like, okay, here's this guy that we don't know much about yet. He's a little weird. Now, of course, things have run into self-indulgent, self-shipping pictures.
That's how it always starts.
But looking back on that comment, I'm like, well, that turned out very differently compared with what I thought it was going to be. And I need to eventually...
But I'm a nice bum, though.
You know, I may as well actually show off the original version of Ophelia while I'm
Oh!
Yes. Huh?
here. What?
I finished
Look at
it.
the bottom chat.
Oh, let's see. Oh, yay!
Oh, yay!
Yay!
So I'm going to save that real quick, and I'm going to replace the image on the screen.
Please.
It was funny because when I noticed you were showing the images on the stream, I was like, hey, I'm working on a picture right now, in fact.
So... Whoops, what? Oh, it wouldn't have popped up yet. Okay. I need to be careful about just randomly scrolling through the artwork.
A little bit.
Some of it is spoilers. But anyway, here are the others. So this is the original Ophelia, and she was a shy girl, and she is so very much not this time. And I may as well, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I can just kind of show this. I can't zoom on it or anything, but this is Liza. She'll pop up on the stream momentarily.
Nice.
I think, yeah. Okay.
I was sad I didn't get to do much with her, but I'm definitely going to use her again in this one.
You're gonna use her? Wow.
Yeah.
God, that reminds me. Lord, can I bring up the cameo original Ophelia made in one of your videos?
Well, technically that that video has since been marked as not available.
Never mind.
No, I mean I get what you're going for. I can probably actually find that, but so that in itself is kind of a story. But so the original Modem campaign ended, and I was kind of sad. And so what I decided I was going to do is I was like, well, Ophelia's not able to do that, so I may as well bring her back in Ballad of Lorelei. And I gave her a specific role, and I'm not going to give any spoilers as to what happens overall, but she does actually make an appearance, assuming that I can fucking find my own shit. What the fuck is wrong with me? There it is.
Mood.
I have a specific organization for literally everything. I have folders within folders within folders within folders. Was it this one? Please show me the thumbnail so I can see. Yes, it was this one. So I'm going to open this so y'all can see. So this is showing off a character that's actually going to be introduced tomorrow on Sirenia Studios. And in the background is original Ophelia being a therapist, actually. So, I mean, honestly, she made off pretty well, all things considered.
I mean,
She grew up to be a therapist, which actually makes sense. Like,
hello.
she was a people person.
Yes. And
Hello?
we have just been joined in the call by the occasional, at least, voice of Prin, Red as a Tomato.
So, Red as a Tomato, I am currently streaming. Welcome to that.
Oh!
Yeah.
I thought it was a hangout. Oh.
It is a hangout, technically, but also... So this stream was originally going to be me continuing to play a video game, but then I started talking about Modem, and then it's 2 hours later. So, so this is Red as a Tomato.
Help us! Let us out!
I love we came here for Dragon Age, but what we got is Dungeons and Dragons. You probably have seen that picture before. It did show up in a video that will be coming up sometime in the next month or so. Sometime. I forget exactly what order I've got everything lined up for. But yes, Ophelia made the appearance in Ballad of Lorelei, but is not really, certainly not modern, not the current Ophelia. But I love this Gab, by the way.
Yeah.
The stream.
The group pictures, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad you like them. I was very happy to finish them. I'm working on another picture now, in fact.
Also, Jane.
Hi.
All of the frying from this morning. Yes. I'm not gonna say even the spoilers, but I'm so happy. First of all, Gab, thank you for my life.
You're welcome.
And I was so happy to take that inspiration and run with it. I guess literally.
Yes, and that was a bit of the deflating sound I referred to earlier.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, bitch!
It's fine. Perks of being part-time NPC, yay! And I try to join in when I can. It's just sometimes offline.
Yeah, it's almost like you've got it's almost like you've got life and like school and other shit that's going on.
Yeah, funny how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as much as possible, I'm human.
I love this thumbnail though of the stream from the link there, Luke.
Yes.
The thumbnail of just these characters on screen. I am so happy with them. But yeah, so I have been so happy with this campaign. I have been so thrilled by, like, when I say this has been the most inspired I have been with shit for a long time, I'm gonna say. Like, in terms of being able to do the art for it and, like, coming out with various ideas. The brainstorming, never mind. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, so Ophelia is very rapidly becoming the flirt queen. For example, this one just last night, I think, even. No, just the other day, whenever it was. I can't remember days. But, oh my. I'd love a chance to handle your console. And meanwhile, poor Ken, who does not actually deserve that.
Yeah.
Like, so far, he's been lucky that she has not decided to turn the charm on him. I don't think that he would remotely trust it for a second anyway.
Nope.
Cut to an hour later at home with Prin.
Hey, Ken, let me handle your console.
Nope.
Oh
No.
my god!
For reference, Ken is also teaching Prin how to play video games.
Oh god. Okay. However, I will say, I could see Ophelia and Ken eventually being friends someday if they get past their various shit. Alright, I am currently in a minefield of all of the spoilers.
Be careful.
I know, I
Careful
can't.
where you tread.
I can't show any of these.
It's the fine art.
Yes.
They're not exactly. This was an early sketch that I drew of their dynamic. Do you have some sort of problem with girls or something? Do I scare you? Incoherent gibberish. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you didn't even need to see the script to know exactly what sound Ken was making.
It's kind of the sound he makes a lot.
Yeah.
Ken noises.
Yeah.
Oh god. Where?
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 That one intensifies.
Okay, here it is. So it's not exactly like known yet between the two of them, but Ophelia is a closet otaku. She has manga on her person. She plays, I mean, that's one of the reasons why she got a crush on the Green Fist, was because he represented a lot of those things that she refuses to admit she's into.
Yeah.
However,
A
she
symbol
keeps...
of hope, a symbol-
Huh?
Symbol of hope and peace.
Oh, yeah. So, I will say she's been dropping hints here and there, like referring to tanks and DPS and stuff like that.
And he's picked up on a few of them, but I don't think enough that, like, he was really clued in.
Yeah. She has also referred to Scout as Howl, and I think that's her chosen nickname for him.
Nice.
But at some point, the two of them could absolutely be talking about, like, anime and just, like, actually talking like normal people, like actual friends. Hence this picture. It's something to aspire to at some point.
I swear to God, it was so much better pre-time skip.
I mean, that's what everyone says, but quite frankly, that's why you have, but that's why they did the time skip, is so that you can see an alternate view of these exact same characters.
Meta joke. The alternate view isn't as interesting. It's just like, why even bother? You could have just stopped where it stopped.
But it didn't stop. The story continues. Like anything else, sometimes big events happen and life changes.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of means. Something meaningful.
That's just it. They, weirdly enough, despite being polar opposites, could actually legitimately have quite a few things in common. Original Ophelia gives modern Ophelia therapy. That would be nice, actually. Although, unfortunately, current Ophelia meeting original Ophelia would probably make her just, like, crawl out of her own skin.
Yeah, we did talk about that, being like, what if the old iterations met the new iterations, and, like, both Ophelias apparently would not like each other.
No.
Or that old Ophelia would be intimidated.
Uh-huh. However...
Both Kens would be largely the same, except new Ken would ask old Ken where he got the cool mustache.
Pat would tell old duo to lighten up.
So, I drew a speculative potential dramatic moment between Ken and Ophelia, where she finally antagonizes him to the breaking point.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna actually read this out, but basically, like, all your little comments and mocking and treating everyone like garbage, but you don't understand, you don't know anything about me, just leave me alone. And her very calmly, of course I don't know. You've never told me. So, Ken, of course, understandably, why would I? And her response, Ken, do you think you're the only one who has problems with intimacy? And she raises her hand.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Throwing hands.
I'm trying to read a dramatic things and you guys are memeing. This is what I have to deal with, everyone!
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
When I say, oh boy, I mean I can't wait, oh boy.
Yeah. I wear gloves. And then, what are you talking about? Oh. Maybe I understand you better than you think.
Claims to have intimacy problems. Proceeds to flirt with everyone in sight.
I mean, if that's not evidence of said problems, I don't know what.
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah, actually, like, what the fuck do you think the flirting is about? What do you think the flirting is for? It's to create a barrier.
when your barrier actually attracts them. Oh no.
Clearly evidence they had gone through horrible things, just like anybody who's ever made balloon animals.
Oh, there are.
No, different context, Jane.
No, I got both jokes.
Hey.
Man, anybody who knows how to juggle must have had a horrible past.
Horrible life.
Yeah, there we go.
I love how that's become Jane's rallying call for justifying all her self-indulgences. Let me live!
There are a lot of serious scenes, actually. I frequently flip between angst and serious shit. Like, for example, a potential eventual confrontation between Duo and Ophelia, where he keeps trying to strike up conversation with her, and she keeps literally turning away and refusing to even look at him.
Yeah.
Until she can't.
No, nope.
Yeah, no.
Understandably so.
Maybe Ophelia's just a germaphobe. No, she's... Well,
It's
she
a little
doesn't...
more complicated than that.
She doesn't like germs, no, but... So there's that. What were some of the other serious moments that I have drawn? Oh yeah, there was
Hi,
Ophelia.
welcome to the Pain Hour with M. Lorelei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like,
No.
help. There was the trauma incident.
Yes.
Well, the thing that shaped.
No need for angst. Just want cool characters.
Ophelia. Where did I
So
know?
remember how lovely and cute it was to just look at those nice pictures of Timothy, just all
God.
cute
Remember-
and innocent and in one piece.
Yeah, not. So she was the one to discover him when he was stabbed.
Oh boy.
Send help. Okay, Sean.
Please do.
There we go.
Listen, when they say take a stab at it, they don't mean that.
Wow.
I mean, she's right.
Yeah.
They don't.
So, but okay, so to relieve that, there's the two of them, because actually, literally, canonically, at the end of the last session that we all played together, Ophelia, when she got home, actually went to... Everything okay? Oh, it's me. I was echoing.
Despite everything, it's still you.
Anyway,
Is it me I'm looking for?
Ophelia climbed into bed with Timothy and basically just snuggled with him for the night because she had a bad night. She nearly died, and all things considered, she kind of just needed, just
comfort.
Needed that sort of comfort.
Tomato kind, red as a tomato, ripperoni and pepperoni. Jane.
Hi.
Jane.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Listen,
Hello.
pizza emoticon. I had to use it.
Of course.
Yeah. Laura,
I
stop
mean,
talking to yourself.
I mean, here's the thing. It's still more palatable than the time we were streaming with Tex and they found the Dorito emoticons.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
The
So-
Dorito emoticon?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The what?
I think it was on Twitch, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this is a design of Ophelia from 2 years ago when she had her hair largely down. And this is her attending a party. Attending the party where...
I don't want to talk about it.
Ken
The
had...
one that shaped Ken's life
I don't want to talk about it.
It's okay, we won't talk about your crush.
It's not a crush.
Of course it's not.
Crush my soul.
And
Oh my God, Vish.
I will say, she was definitely present for that event. And, of course, that's also where she ended up befriending both Diane and Evelyn, because it was Evelyn's party. And, like, it was one of those, oh, well, we're all rich, top people. Let's be friends.
We're all rich bitches.
Yeah, we're all rich.
They just look at each other and like, hey, you want to be Heathers?
The thing is that I love the idea that eventually at some point someone sarcastically refers to them as the Heathers, and that actually gives Ophelia the idea to be like, okay, sure. And then they go on to actually perform Candy Store.
I mean,
God,
Look,
it's
well, I'm
like.
just asking, are we gonna have a problem?
Do you have a bone to pick?
No.
We've come so far, why now are you pulling on my dick?
I'm sorry, what?
I normally slap your face off, and everyone here could watch.
Oh, jeez.
Poor duo.
Yes.
I have to go.
And everyone here could watch.
I have to go.
So, may as well take a moment to show off Peak. Because I haven't yet. Peak is a half-elf sorcerer, like I said before. And she is actually a Disney princess. She is actually very sweet. She is also team mom. She's the sort of person who literally goes around doing good things for the sake of doing good things.
It even worse because she has a quirky animal companion, Ham.
Oh my god, like I was listening to the first session earlier and thinking, yeah, Peak is just basically I'm adopting you now.
So it's what she did.
Yeah.
She is team mom.
So I will say she also has a sweetheart. His name is Roger.
Yes.
He is kind of a dick. He is very much your... So the story there is she is, you know, a rich, noble girl living in a noble world, and at one point, Roger was involved in a criminal gang, and they were there at that noble estate to try and rob them. However, this was during a big party, and of course Peak, upon seeing Roger, was immediately, that's mine. And went over to him and, invited him to dance, and, he was kind of blown away, because all of a sudden Pretty Girl comes up and is like, I like you. So, after more than a few moments of Peak being, actually sweet to him, he kind of lost the nerve to let the thieving of the house continue, so he just kind of called it off, had everyone leave. But then Peak decided she wasn't done with him.
Oh boy!
And pursued him.
Woo!
To the point of, he couldn't go anywhere without her eventually popping up there. And of course it was one of those, even if he grumbled about it because he's a super tsundere, he was still definitely charmed by it. He did like it. Read as Maya Fey, you're not wrong.
I mean...
And the thing is that, he literally has, a smile that is literally only hers. He doesn't smile. He is otherwise very much a cold-ass motherfucker, but he's actually very sweet with her.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that it's because she pursued him that he actually kind of left that life and decided he wants to make better of himself, especially to prove himself to her parents, etc., because they are forbidden to be married because, pretty standard kind of thing. But I did have to draw, of course, a nice little shippy moment between the two of them.
Oh, yes.
Because they're so cute. You finished another picture. Are you going to say... Whoa. Okay, a whole bunch of things just crashed.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
All right. Oh no.
I'll wait till it uncrashes for you.
Oh no.
Well, not everything crashed, but... Oh!
Oh wait, no, not to the... No, crashing is bad.
Oh!
Crashing is very bad. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
No, I just...
No, Jane, you're fine. Because I've finally seen on my end of the stream everything falling the fuck apart.
Perfect timing for me adding this.
You're oh, I finished another picture, everything closes. Yes!
Oh, look, it's even more illegal.
Uh-huh. Yes, it is.
Just in the nick of time, baby.
Oh my god, babe.
I'm going to pull everything back up again so that y'all can follow along with these beautiful baby boys and girls and everything else.
And of course, Jane in the chat. Nice!
I mean...
Earlier in the stream, you were talking about this image in the comic you drew about it. So I was in the middle of coloring the other one, and I'm like, oh yeah, the next one. So when you brought that up, I'm like, I'm gonna work on that one next.
Oh.
And of course, immediately
I'm
after
sorry
you
that I
mention
couldn't-
Roger, Jane comes up with the ship music.
Yeah.
It's careless.
Well, their ship music is actually in Rent between Roger and Mimi, which is why he's named Roger.
Ah, I see.
Nice.
Yes. So anyway, so this was the thing that came up that apparently crashed all of my pictures.
As it do.
I mean, accurate.
But I mean, of course, Weldon has to make an entrance.
Yes.
Weldon
A grand
makes an
entrance.
Oh, and I actually have to bring that back up again because I'm monitoring 5 billion different things at the same time. So let's pull that up again. There we go. There it
Hello,
is.
everybody. My name is Weldon Blair. Welcome.
I hate
Oh my
you. I
god.
hate you so much.
So,
Stop it. Get some help.
story. Apparently, Markiplier is an influence on Weldon's voice.
Just a smidge.
Okay, listen. When I was younger, when I was first running this campaign, I was
It was
trying to
2
find...
years ago.
When I was younger...
Several years ago.
Listen, the point is, I was trying to figure out a good voice match for him, and at the time, the only thing I could think of was Markiplier, like, not his normal speaking voice, but, like, when he actually tries to do a lower register kind of voice. I'm like, okay, sure, that works. And ever since I mentioned that, it's like Griffin is, like, taken that and then moved it to the next level of, okay, this is the actual Weldon voice.
Well, I'm glad you. I'm glad you
Okay.
approved my approach.
Oh, of course, but that's what I'm saying, like, when I hear Markiplier stuff, it's like, okay, well, that also kind of sounds like Weldon, but just because that's all I had.
Yeah. But then we've got Griffin, who literally just can voice Weldon.
I guess so.
To the point where I've said, if you're going to sass me while I'm streaming, you better do it in Weldon voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
hence
boy,
why
he
I
looks
kept
like
doing that the
evil
last
ego
stream.
Raptor.
God damn it.
What?
Not Let's Player.
Evil.
Uh.
Okay, but Weldon the Let's Player though. Oh my god.
Hey. He looks like grown-up evil Lucas. Get it right.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so yeah, no, I could see him being a fucking Let's Player.
That's just I'm trying to imagine what the fuck he would play.
Just
Fortnite.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like he opens the video with a Fortnite dance and never touches Fortnite.
Yes.
Honestly, imagining doing a Fortnite dance is killing me.
Like that's how he attracts kids into the toy store.
Wow. That is a sentence you're not allowed to say anymore. Okay, though that's not.
That's what Gab wanted.
But now I have to find that quote. Yes, there we go. Dude, little boys are fun, says Red as a Tomato.
Listen, I was talking about voice acting and as far as like exploring other ranges and stuff. Not that way. Oh my god, bitch.
Oh my god.
Ophelia is wrong, okay?
Oh my god, bitch.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, bitch! Okay, so as a side note, we tease the fuck out of Jane because she has a lot of replacement words for common swears and other stuff.
Yes.
So there's codfish, there's fudge sticking. What are some of your other ones, Jane?
Those are the main
Apple
ones.
cakes, whole beans, and guacamole.
Oh yeah, whole beans. I love whole beans. Because the alternate is half beans? Quarter beans?
Half beans.
Absolutely.
FBI, open up.
Beans.
Dude, little boys are fun.
No!
Little boys are
You know what I love right now with the composition of the screen was just Weldon in the middle.
Weldon takes over the stream.
They are, in
I've
fact.
come to make an announcement.
Scout Darling is
I've come to make an announcement. Little boys are fun as shit.
Meet me in the pit, actually!
Like, proceed. And he's like, no, you don't understand. And he starts, like, teaching Louis how to do poses and shit. Like, it's actually super fucking
Weldon, I think
wholesome.
you're biting my style there, buddy.
Well,
It's a
but
bad
he...
idea. I can feel it.
Well, it would be if you had any style to begin with.
Oh! Oh!
Listen, did you go through several years of dance choreography with this?
Listen. When the little girl can outpose you in a heartbeat, I don't think you have much ground to stand on. Even before the earthquake.
Rip.
Fair enough.
Weldon teaches
I'm gonna
kids how to
leave.
dance.
I feel like Weldon took a year of tap dance.
Oh fuck yeah, he did. If for no other if by no other means than like jumping from tree to tree while fleeing from the people trying to fucking catch him.
Which is everyone.
Yeah.
He is probably impersonates Chris Hansen. Why don't you take a seat? Which no, that's a temptation. I'm not going to go down that path. But
now I've got the image in my head of Weldon teaching like Tycho to tap dance on a tree branch, like a la one of those scenes from Mary Poppins.
Can I just say something real quick on that note that you bring that up? You reminded me of an animatic I actually wanted to do, which now I have to do.
Oh
no! Which one?
I don't know if you guys, anybody in this caller in the chat has seen the Flash TV show.
Yeah. Are you talking Super Friend?
Yes, I want to animate a verse from Super Friends.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Where they're just
Do
fucking tap dancing and singing to each other.
Do it.
So, yeah, no. I want to request things related to the shit we've been destroying each other with the latter half of this week, but then I realized you could put all of that effort into it and you would not be able to show it to anyone yet.
Yeah.
So, like, I will say the requests for something like that might amp up after we reach a certain spoiler point.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. If I do spoiler level stuff now, which I will admit I have and I am currently, once you reach that point, all I have to do is, hey, here is this, like, 2-minute video I worked on. Here you go, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, oh my codfish.
But the payoff would be...
Animatic to show you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have a fucking cavalcade of comics to share with you guys at some point. I will say, I do love the one that I did share. And it's not exactly spoiler, because it just followed up with what I did before, is like, if they encounter Scout, and, like, you know, he's quote-unquote on their side, so to speak, that Ophelia would immediately start flirting with him because it's Ophelia. I can at least show that one, I think. I don't want to close the Weldon one, but I don't want to crash everything again.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to read this request that Sean made. What are you going to do with that golf club? Gonna hit me? Better make it count. Better make it hurt. Better kill me in one shot.
Anyway.
But actually don't.
Boy, that's different tonally. So, in this comic, because I did actually post this to the chat, so, because this is actually...
Blasphemous.
Yeah. So... The thing is that when they met, I remember even talking about this briefly, but so Scout shows up and he's got this fucking half cape thing and he looks like he's super fancy. And so Ophelia pretty much immediately was like, I like his look. Does not like him now. Motherfucker tried to kill her and everyone else. And so, yeah, no, that has gone literally out the window. But I imagine that this conversation could absolutely happen because Ophelia is a massive fucking flirt. So, you know, I'm going to read the comic now, Griffin. You have something to say? No?
I was just going to say, I like how he still has the scar on his cheek from Owen's shot.
Oh, no, it's not a scar. This is from Duo
this
and
is
then...
when just punched him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair.
Happen.
Yeah, when they punch
all
him...
hypothetical.
Yeah, this is all hypothetical because, again, we have all that we know of Scout so far is that he was dragged back through by Mommy and Daddy.
That's fair.
Weldon! I'm going to type it so you guys can... Okay. Weldon!
I mean, it's a unique name, so I can understand.
It is,
yeah.
And I anyway. So...
It's a weird name.
Yeah.
You know, when we met, I thought you were pretty cute. Huh? Oh, don't get me wrong, that you very quickly dropped off my list when you nearly killed me. But I dig your style, and you are comely enough to turn my head, so... And then, like, little tiny text, which is... not necessarily spoken, but the cape is absolutely a bonus. Let's just say I might have been down to have you whisper the word of Dahia in my ear, in between other things. And then just the fucking, that is blasphemous. He would have no way to process what she just said, because again, it's in the sense of, like, she just used the name of his goddess to, like, fucking say that.
Yeah, I'll fuck your god if you fuck mine.
Well, we'll
Let's Dahia, I don't mean that.
More.
Yes.
It's like, first of all, she's married. Second of all.
So, we wanted to bring up something, by the way, relating to my shitty scout boy.
Yes.
I was showing Sean different anime because, like, we have a couple that we haven't seen from each other's lists, so we're like, binging different shows. So I started showing him Yuri on Ice.
Oh.
And legitimately, Yurio is just Scout, like a good while. But we only watched 3 episodes, and I'm like, that's just Scout. That's Scout. It's Scout, and he looks exactly like him.
Oh,
So,
God.
Oops.
Oops.
Another influence I didn't realize.
Yeah. I will say Scott Darling is a bitch. And he's not going to have a good time if he does decide to show his face around them. Like, no, like, it's literally he tried to kill them. Like, he might have gotten away with attempting to kill Ken and Louie, but, like, then he did that.
I'm just saying, how do you know he was trying to kill?
He was. You said as much. He had his knife drawn and was going to kill them. You said it. I just listened to it, Gabby! How do you know he was trying to kill them? Because you said he was.
Nobody's going to survive what's coming
Because
next.
you just told me, Fox Boy.
Like,
Redemption.
Scout Darlow is on Duo's shit list. Next time he sees him, clean clocked right in the schnoz.
Nice.
Understandable. Good day, sir.
Yes.
Unless he has magic armor or something like that.
Yeah. Also, I just listened to a clip of Yurio, and you're not wrong, Gab.
Right?
Right, though. I'm just saying.
But, oh my God, Griffin knows, says Phoenix Rising.
About what at this point?
I mean,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Everything you say is, oh God, no.
Weldon looks like he's cosplaying Darkiplier, and I love it.
I'm upset
Kind of.
at that. You listen here. My Darkiplier days are behind me.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because
sure?
Weldon begs to differ.
Here's the question, actually. I want to ask Gab, because that face, that expression is a little bit more sinister than the rest of Weldon that we've seen. Is that a snapshot of past Weldon, or is that still current? He's just got that kind of face.
Okay, so 2 things. 1, I didn't mean for that to be sinister, so
Yeah.
oops. But 2, this is past Weldon.
This is. Okay.
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Well, he was a cocky bitch, so.
This is true.
So I find you here. It was only a matter of time, Antiseptic Eye.
I hate
I thought the war was over.
I heard you say that, Griffin, but I heard it as, so I'm finally here, performing for you.
If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Dear God.
So, Gab, this is the problem when you actually cast your boy.
Yeah.
That's
He
the
can
problem.
be used as easily against you.
Yes.
I deserve it, though.
I mean,
And again, it's like, God, what was the fucking remark? Oh yeah, no, it was when I was, well, it was a chain of flirtations with Luke, and he started responding with puns. He's like, yeah, I found a way to make you stop. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I get to fluster you, and you respond with puns. It's win-win for me.
uh-huh.
I backed myself into a corner and I don't know how to get out of this.
It's just what I always wanted. It's perfectly right.
I'm just thinking of that one meme where it's like, "This is my hole. It was made for me."
Okay. Yeah.
Is that an offer or a statement?
That was the Rocky one. Like, have you seen that horror?
Weldon down, boy. I know what you're referencing, James.
Weldon down, boy.
Oh, also for the record, Gabby. Also, Gabby, for the record, thank you for clarifying that Yurio is your headcanon scout, because up till this point, I've been reading all of his dialogue in Taco's voice, and it really needs to stop.
Oh God, no! Don't name him as Taco. He's a bitch.
Well,
I mean,
who isn't at this
End of
point?
the disco.
That is blasphemous.
So, I showed the one Flustrum Weldon.
Oh.
Should I show the follow-up that you did, Gab?
No,
Please.
I'm begging you not to. I beg you in chat not to.
Okay, I won't.
God.
I still.
If you showed that one, I would have found a way to pull the plug in the stream right there.
Yeah. So instead, we'll show some of Jane's self-indulgence.
I mean, I
no,
can.
Don't worry.
I can, but
No, I can. You really need to pay more attention to these things.
you. Okay.
Yes, that's the point. I'm trying to convey that.
Bravo. Also, just because Ken in Tux hoodie,
Ah, yes.
Yes.
because he's good boy.
That was actually one of the first pictures I drew on this tablet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He very much would have tried to get away with that at like a school dance before his parents intervened and forced him to wear something actually.
I was even about to ask, was this from the prom, AU?
AU.
It's not an AU.
It's not an AU! Just like the video game thing is not an AU. Okay, so I'm showing, first of all, a wholesome moment with Ken having been recently traumatized and Prin cheering him up with stories about the past. Anyway, so this ended up coming up in conversation. The idea that, because Ophelia is also a nerd and gets herself involved with nerdy things, which could include a multiplayer game. And, like, we started talking about the idea that they might have played the same game, that they might even, like, have teamed up without knowing. And, like, we went on this whole actual description of, like, actually they'd probably balance each other out really well in the playstyles. And then, like, in the middle of us talking about this, Jane excitedly went, "Oh my god, video game AU!" And it's like, it's just, like, you.
Yeah, but okay, but like I was like, what if they actually met like on video game, but they had no idea? And it's like, James, we can actually do that.
Yeah, there is nothing to stop us from going full recovery of an MMO junkie.
Oh yeah.
I was even gonna reference that, goddammit.
Right? Isn't it? That one's a cute series. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a shame the creator's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but you know, the idea still works.
Oh yeah.
They could, actually, yes, Phoenix. That kid in the pixie could totally cosplay as Link and Navi. I mean, assuming that it's not going to happen.
I feel like that's the unspoken thing that's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still remember that comic that I did with like them playing Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, I still have it.
Oh my god, bitch.
But as
no, there it was. It was Hyrule Warriors, and you made Prince sad because Link had a scarf.
Oh,
you made Prince Sam? Oh.
Prince sad.
You know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think.
Crying.
I abandoned my boy.
Oh no.
I abandoned my boy.
Listen, there's a complicated history there with Sam and Prince. Okay.
Okay.
I love that Chip doesn't sigh.
Are you okay?
Eh?
Alright. Weldon could cosplay as Ganon, obviously. I mean, probably Ganondorf, less Ganon.
I was gonna say, Walden strikes me as more of a Girahim.
If
that
was the case, oh my god.
I'm sorry, did we just give you something else, Gab?
Zelda AU.
Oh
wait.
my god,
No,
bitch.
at that point, Prin would have to be Zelda.
Yeah! Oh my god!
Hi, welcome to our regular conversations.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Don't apologize for art.
it's fine. This is why I'm happy to have you guys on with me.
Yeah.
However, I will say, that as it is, I have now been going for 2 hours, 45 minutes in this stream. Not that I'm not enjoying this, and I'm not going to be, like, hanging up the call or anything. Not necessarily, anyway. But what I am going to do is probably going to call it for the stream for today. I know I didn't exactly get around to playing any more Dragon Age. Today was literally just Lore talks about, Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we should do this kind of stream more often.
I agree. I would love to have also, gestures to assembled company. I'd love to have you guys in stream with me more often, too.
Yeah.
But obviously it comes down to scheduling and availability and all of that stuff. But I would love to have you guys on more often. And we need to do more podcasty. Huh?
Yeah.
It was fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're joining. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm streaming. Whoops. I thought it was just a hangout.
We were just in the general chat.
We are, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But so next week I will probably resume Dragon Age, despite promising to do that today. But I am going to close that, and close that, and close that, and move this over, and so... All of you who decided to come by to watch today, I hope you enjoyed this little break from our usual streaming, scheduling, and everything. I would love to talk more about the stuff that we're doing with D&D. I think I've covered, like, the gist of it, but, like, I obviously, when we actually have more sessions, which I'm telling you, I am jonesing for so bad. It is. It is bad. Like, we were like, when we started, it's like, it's just 4 weeks. It's just a month. We'll survive. And then, like, a week passes, and I'm like, I'm dying.
If I'm being honest, by the way, Lore, if it wasn't for the fact that our flight was later in the evening, I would have been like, guys, let's play tonight. But also,
yeah.
There's also that. But
yeah.
One more week. There's one more week, guys.
Yeah.
Man.
One more week, and then we get to unload all of the stuff that we have been fucking doing for the last 3 weeks, and planning and scheming and all of that stuff. But to those of you who came by to watch today and listen to us just talk and hang out and have fun and talk about our favorite boys and gals, I appreciate that. And those of you who are watching this later, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this 3-hour podcast of me talking about my favorite boys. And girls. I mean, I was largely focused on Weldon, let's be real here. But, like...
Well, aren't you?
As one should be.
I'm still here.
That's just it.
That's the first thing we can agree on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, Fish.
Hey, look,
Again, I'm going to ask, Luke, would you like me to stay focused on you?
I rescind my comments.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Good luck.
and it's been talked about before. I want to do more podcasty stuff on the channel anyway, but and I will, and I'm going to say this. I've talked about it before. I do plan on running my own campaign at some point, and it's probably going to involve a lot of the same people in this call with me.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
I've already slotted Gab in because after all of the work that she has done as DM for this campaign, I want her to be able to just sit and play and enjoy a campaign. So she deserves that, and then I'm going to be extending the offer to other people. I'm still working on what I want to do, and I'm hoping to make it something that is sufficiently twisty and enjoyable. So that's going to be something that's going to be on this channel at some point.
If at all possible, I'd like to see if I can't bring back a character of mine from a previous campaign.
Oh.
It will be considered.
That would be fun.
But I will say that what I've got in mind, it would have to be discussed, and it'll be off. Wow, I love that echoed. Disgust. Disgusting! Disgusting! I want to thank you guys who came by today. I want to thank the people who actually decided to donate, to do that through the YouTube Super Chat system. I'm really, I'm super flattered that you guys continue to chip money at me. And I'm like, why? But why, though? But if you guys are doing it, thank you. I really appreciate that a lot. And next week I should be resuming normal game stuff, but today I was happy to take the break to talk about D&D. So,
D&D's fun.
Thank you guys in call for joining in today, for indulging me having you guys here.
Of course.
No problem.
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah.
And thank you to Griffin, my regular co-host.
Always a pleasure.
And I hope to see you guys next week, where hopefully less D&D and more Dragon Age. Maybe. We'll see.
Take care, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye-bye!
Goodbye.